Sounds good, man.
Oh yeah.
Tune in now to the hottest sports podcast, 910 Sports. 910 Sports. We discuss the latest topics in sports, interview the athletes from all over the country, known and unknown, while spotlighting the youth of today and tomorrow with host Icon E, Mr. Personality Jacob the Great, Crystal, a.k.a. Miss Wildfire, KB the Amazing, and Steve-O, a.k.a. Mr. All Everything Georgia.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon. And we're here on tonight, another episode, 910 Sports Reloaded, Season 2, Episode 5. Once again, want to thank God for this opportunity to be on here with my brothers and my sister on here to be able to chop up about sports. What's going on, fellas?
What's happening? What's
What it do?
happening?
What it do? What it
Order
do?
of business. The NFL is about to be in full effect. Yes,
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah.
sir.
Oh, yeah.
I
Oh,
am
yeah.
so excited about all aspects of football, high school, college, and pro, man. Like
Oh, yeah.
I'm so excited about it, man. And I'm ready for the trash talking because it's gonna be quite a bit this season, as it is every season. And you know how I do. I troll a
Mhm.
little bit, so I'm excited. So, but before we hop into that, what I want to talk about, Akon, I know you and KB said it, man. I feel like Jaylen Brown was a bit disappointed, in the
Mm.
Celtics for putting him on that trade waiver and talking to trades with KD and I don't think the brother feel like the Celtics value him as a player, man, because he stated that he was a bit disappointed.
Yeah. I mean, I think they had to understand it was going to be one of them was going to be have to be added in that trade. Um, but I think he should have known that they were going to ride with Tatum. I think that was I thought that was understood, but I guess not.
Well, I mean, bro, I don't know, man. Tatum got me on the fence, man, on his play in the finals, bro. Cause I used to tell Icon, man, but you were like Tatum, man. He's an up and coming star, man. He gonna be that guy, man. And boy, as soon as I say that, here come the finals. Tatum done went on ahead and let us down again, man. Here we go, bro. So I can see why Jaylen Brown was a bit disappointed that they throw his name in there first as far as being traded, with them trying to acquire KD. So, and man, he took that to heart too, man. So what do you guys think?
I would have. I understand what Jaylen Brown is coming from, and then you right on the cuff of winning a championship, and he just want to finish what he started with his brothers. I mean, when they went out, they added Gallinari, they added Malcolm Brogdon, and I just feel like that may be the pieces they needed to go to get a championship. And then the thing about it is the Boston Celtics would have to or they would have to give up a lot to basically like what I mean to basically like get Kevin Durant. So they would have to
Right.
give up a Grant Williams or a Robert Williams plus Jaylen Brown plus Marcus Smart. And my thing is, well, it kind of messed up the chemistry and what they got going on. So to me, I wouldn't necessarily. I would run it back at least one more year for what they have, and then maybe after that, if they felt the need to kind of do something, or maybe like, trade deadline. If Kevin Durant want out there that bad, and they still like, let's just say around the trade deadline, Boston get off to a slow start, and they feel like, oh, we might well make this move now, I would wait till then to do it. I don't think it's a rush on Boston's side to make this move. And the Nets really don't. The Nets are not in no rush to like give them up for nothing. So if I was them, I would just kind of wait it out, or whatever. Because Boston do got a tendency to get off to these slow starts. Now this year they may be more motivated than other years, just because of what is going to happen and the fact they did get to the finals. They may come out a little bit more ready to play than they have in the past years, but we'll see.
Okay, so, and I'm gonna just put it out there, me myself, from my thought perspective, who is New Jersey to even ask for that much, bro? Like, New Jersey shouldn't even ask for that much. What they're asking for Kevin Durant is absurd to me, man. Like, New Jersey asking for it, Brooklyn asked for that much. Excuse me, Brooklyn asked for that much. Get out of here, bro. Like they want Jalen, they want Smart, and they want some first round picks, man. If you don't cry me a river and get on tour with Justin Timberlake, get out of here, man. Brooklyn just doing the most.
Yeah, I mean I think it's one of those things to where they hold all the cards in their hand. Like, KD isn't going to sit out the whole year, or you're banking on him not sitting out. So you have the leverage to kind of demand what you want, and then the other teams they're going to sit down and kind of wait it out and see if you budge a little bit from what you want. So I mean, I get them wanting to get to squeeze as much as they possibly can out the deal, but I mean, I think at this point you just kind of got to let it go.
So, what do you guys think? Because Kyrie said, and I don't really know if it's true, but I just glanced at it. He said that whether KD is there or not, he wants to stay in New Jersey. All of a sudden, that's what he said. So what do you guys feel about that?
What about KD staying there?
No, Kyrie.
I don't think it's this. I think it's Kyrie just talking. Like, basically, he's frustrated. He ain't got traded yet, but I don't think it's his call to make, because I think at the end of the day, if they do get rid of Kevin Durant, they're not going to want to keep Kyrie Irving. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not going to make any sense at that point. And if they, so and I really think at the end of the day, either both of them going to stay or both of them going to go. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever at this point. Because I just don't think the Lakers, Jenny Buss being too stubborn to give up them first round picks, because they tell about they don't want to make any other trades, so they find out if they could trade for Kyrie. Well, if the Nets don't lower their price, which or whatever, then what they probably won't. You know what I'm saying? Unless let's get to the trade deadline and they just feel like at this point we're gonna lose them for nothing, so we might as well get something out the deal, and they go for it then. But other than that, I mean, I feel like they just gonna end up like keeping them in either both or trading both, depending on what happens to Kevin Durant.
Yeah, and Kyrie don't got no leverage either. Like
right.
Then you shot yourself in the foot, because now it's like, all right, well, you here, so that's it.
What's up, Crystal? What's up, Steve O, Mr. Georgia, everything?
Hey, y'all.
What's going on?
What's happening? So, what y'all think about the whole KD and Boston thing, man? Like, let me hear from y'all.
I mean, if I'm Boston, I don't do it because they asking too much. But if they was just asking for Jalen and like maybe Jalen and Grant in a first round pick, I probably would do it.
Okay.
And if I'm Jaylen Brown, I don't know if I guess he has a right to be offended because, there's a level of pride all these players got anyway. But it's not like it's for, nobody. It's for KD. Like it's like I was saying in the group, it's a couple of players that you really can't be too upset with, players when they become available, you anything can go. KD's one of those guys. KD,
You right.
Greek, LeBron,
Now,
and maybe not so much LeBron now because he in year 20, but like those players, Curry, like you got to give up what you give up to get them. It don't really matter who you are unless you are the players that I named.
now,
So,
playing devil's advocate. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
I just think that Brooklyn just asking for a bit too much there, like way too much, man. Like
I think they're doing it on purpose, though.
Yeah. I mean, and they could be, but I just think they're doing the most, man. Like for real. And okay, KB, back to you. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, I was saying, when it comes to Jaylen Brown, and when Chris was saying, you got to give up this and this and this and that for KD. I mean, what has he done? I mean, don't get me wrong, his talent is his talent, but other than riding the coattails of Golden State, who was already great before he got there, he ain't done nothing to earn, I think, to demand that you break a team down to its bare bones just to get him. Like he didn't carry the Nets to do anything. He carried Oklahoma a little bit, and he ran from that. So it's like, what has he done? He didn't do anything, when he was with the Nets. So why should a team break their back to give up, a lot of pieces for him?
But I'm still giving up Jaylen Brown for him, though.
I mean, if I'm Jaylen Brown, but if I'm Jaylen Brown, I'm an elite talent. I consider myself elite talent. Me and this other guy got us to the finals. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't get it done, but we got it here. So I got the same thing done as KD.
I mean, if you 25, I guess you probably would look at it like that. I respect that.
Hold on, Crystal. Why you the same one last year talking about you don't think they should break them up?
I did, but don't break them up. But this is for KD. We wasn't talking about for somebody, like for somebody specifically. We was just saying, should you break them up? Now, are there any other circumstances outside of the players that I named that I would probably, at this point break them up? Probably not. But I'm breaking them up for KD though. If it's just KD, I'm with KB on. I'm not breaking my whole. You can't break your team down to its bare minimum and just add KD and then like some pieces and think you about to win because you're not. Because like KD, you're right. KD hasn't done that. But if you telling me I can trade Jaylen Brown and maybe Grant Williams because he's a rotational piece, you can find another one. You found him, you can find another one. And maybe a draft pick, I'm gonna do it.
Okay, yeah. Well, answer me this question then. If do you feel like, let's say Boston decided we'll trade KD, Jason Tatum up straight up, do you think KD, Jaylen Brown, and they keep everything else they got around them, you think they can win with them doing it the other way? With Jaylen Brown being the number 2 beside KD?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Because think about it.
Jaylen Brown to. One thing you can say so far is that each year they get better. So you're going to expect at least for him to get better. You're going to expect Jason Tatum to get better. Now, if I had to pick between the two, I'm going to take Jason Tatum.
Why?
Well, I think his upside is greater though.
I mean,
he's a great talent, and I understand that Tatum, he didn't disappear in the finals, but he didn't like do what he was supposed to do. But also, the defense was focused on him, was not focused on Jaylen Brown. The defense was focused on Tatum.
So he didn't disappear in the finals, Crystal?
Well, I just said. Well, I'm not using disappear, but
he had a bad game.
He didn't play well. I don't think he disappeared per se because he was there. You know what I'm saying? He was out there trying. Yeah. He was shooting. Yeah. He was 6 for 24. But I mean, if you want to say disappear, I'm good with that. But whatever. And Jaylen Brown, did play better in the finals than him. I think he did. But again,
his whole body of work this season. Yeah, his whole body of work this season ain't better Tatum. So.
Right, exactly.
No. The body ain't working better, but when it counted, Tatum showed up. Tatum didn't show up, and Brown did. So
well, it counted when you was in the second round, because that's how you got to the third round, and it counted in the third round because that's how you got to the finals. So when it counted, he did show up. He played poorly in the finals. Okay. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not, but obviously you don't get it, but the finals is when it really counts.
Well, answer it like this then. Let's just say you would have placed KD in the same situation. You'd had Jaylen Brown and KD throughout these playoffs. Do you think they would have beat Golden State?
Ooh. If you put KD instead of Tatum?
If you'd had KD instead of Tatum in the same position,
maybe.
I think they would.
I think they would.
It would have been a better series for sure.
It would definitely. Yeah.
So if that's the case, then if I was Boston, instead of tearing up the whole team to get one player, I would just trade Jason Tatum straight up. And because
they ain't gonna do that.
You don't care about growth. You worried about winning a championship. So it's not about a player growing anymore. It's about trying to win.
Yeah,
if I'm New Jersey, why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? Rudy Gobert, they just gave up 5 first-round picks unprotected for Rudy Gobert. Why am I going to give away KD for that?
No, if you give up KD for Jason Tatum, now Brooklyn.
That's not enough.
Now Brooklyn got their piece. They got their franchise player. Boston want to win now because you got to look at Boston. Boston is in a situation where they are a franchise, just like the Lakers. They're used to winning. And you know what I'm saying? So they don't really like waiting around to try to build a team. That's why they started the first big three that everybody tried to put on Miami. That's why Boston started that big three, because they got tired of losing.
But Brooklyn don't have no draft picks. They gave up their draft picks when they got Harden. So that's why they're stuck on you got to give me 5 first-round picks. Because they gave up all of them. Brooklyn ain't going to have Jack.
For Kevin Durant, you got to give up nothing else.
And they want the picks too. They want picks.
Bro, you gotta listen to what I'm telling you. If you trade Tatum for Kevin Durant, that's a straight up trade. That's not an uneven trade. How you feel?
It might be even in your eyes, but you're the Nets.
They might can get 1 first-round pick. They not get 4 or 5 picks.
You can't tell me what this Chevrolet worth over here in my yard. You can't tell me what this Chevy worth in my yard.
Huh?
It's my Chevy. You can't tell me what this Chevrolet worth in my yard. It's my Chevrolet. I don't care if it don't run. I don't care if it ain't got no motor. This is my Chevy. It's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you 5
You can't tell my Chevy back to your Chevy. You can't say your Chevy back to my Chevy if we got the same Chevy.
I can say whatever I want if it's mine.
Your Chevy older.
But you get what? If I really don't want to sell it, though, if I'm like New Jersey, if I really don't want to sell it, if I'm New Jersey and I really don't want to sell it, which they really don't want to get rid of KD, then they're gonna ask for way more than what it's worth.
You can ask for what you want.
I'm not giving him away.
You can ask for what you want.
And they ain't got it. They still sitting there with it.
All I'm saying, Steve, do you really think what they're asking for is logical, man? Like in your eyes, is that logical to ask all that for KD, bro?
In my eyes, if I'm New Jersey, from their perspective, yes. If I'm everybody else looking at it,
not for Jaylen.
But if I'm New Jersey, I'm going to put the asking price. When I put something on Facebook Market to sell it, I usually put it on there for 50% higher than what I want. So guess what? I shoot for the stars. If I land on the moon, I'm okay. But they're not going to go with that. They're not going with that mentality. They like, hey, give me this. And I ain't taking nothing less.
Okay, let me ask you this then, Steve. When the Nets made the trade, when they traded James Harden for Ben Simmons, right? At the time, they was pretty equal. So the only thing that ended up happening was the Nets ended up having to get a couple more players to match up salaries, and and James Harden was still considered a little bit better player than Ben Simmons. But they didn't have to give up the farm to do it. They just had
who you think won that trade? Hold on. Who you think won that trade?
If you go by the players that the Nets got back, they want to trade because they got Seth Curry in the deal. Because they got Seth Curry and Ben Simmons in the situation. But what I'm saying to you is they didn't have to give up a bunch of. I think they gave up one extra first round pick. They didn't have to give up 4 or 5 extra first round picks.
You comparing Harden to KD?
But I was gonna say, but KD and Harden are two different players, and Harden was a free agent coming, and he said he wasn't going to resign there. So at that point, you can't just let him go away and get nothing.
Right.
KD is still on the contract for 4 more years. I ain't got to sell this Chevy. This Chevy can sit right
Okay,
here
I get
for
what you're
4
saying.
more years. And if you don't bring me what I want,
How they give
it's
it
gonna
up for
sit there
nothing,
right.
though? Okay, so you trying to say Jason Tatum is nothing? That's what you're telling me.
No, they were getting.
No,
look,
I'm
you
saying
gotta-
they had to make a trade for Harden. They had to take the best offer. They don't have to trade KD. He's under contract for 4 more
Right.
years. James
Jason
Harden
Tatum
was
is
a
too.
free
Jason
agent.
Tatum is too.
They was getting rid of.
You
They was getting rid
moving the
of. Look, it's
goalpost.
not. It's
Like,
not the
hold on,
same.
come
Look,
on back. Bring the goalpost
hold
back.
on. Hold on, y'all.
Let's finish talking about
It's
this
not
first.
the same because
Steve, this is what I'm telling you, Steve. If Brooklyn, let's just say Brooklyn say, because what the reports is that some coming out is that the organization is tired of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant's BS. But at the end of the day, like you said, he's not going to get away for nothing. But at the end of the day, if I could get a franchise player, because most time with these trades, you don't get a franchise player back. You usually get a role player, a few role players, and some picks. So the Brooklyn Nets got an opportunity to get a franchise player in the deal. If everybody's
And
saying,
what you gonna do with it?
huh?
What you gonna do with it? You don't have no money, and you ain't got no draft picks to bring nobody here to help you. I want the draft picks too.
Okay, but not 4 or 5. I'm gonna give you 2. I ain't gonna give you 4 or 5.
No. Rudy Gobert got 5. This is
You can't
Kevin
go off of
Durant.
that, bro. You can't go off of that.
And
No,
he
that's
and he
never gonna
and
happen
he went
again.
to Minnesota,
That's not
Steve.
gonna
Are you
happen
serious,
again.
bro? And he went to
I don't care where he
Minnesota.
goes. Guess what? I send Kevin Durant ass to Sacramento if they give me what I
That ain't
want.
gonna happen. Then you ain't gonna see that no more. Danny Ainge,
But guess
Danny
what?
Ainge is a huge
He gonna
concept.
be in the
I don't know
Brooklyn
how he get
Nets.
away with that
He gonna
shit.
be
That ain't gonna happen again.
he gonna be in the Brooklyn Nets uniform for the next 4 years.
You're right. You're right, Icon. That's not gonna happen
Again like that.
because everybody's not Danny Ainge. You're right. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that ain't
Damn
gonna
sure ain't
happen
gonna
again.
happen.
You
But
can't.
I'm not giving away Kevin Durant for anything less than I feel like that he's worth.
It's the 2
And
things
I
you can't
think
bet. You
Brooklyn
not
wants the
2 things
draft
you can bet
picks
on, bro. I'm
for
gonna tell you
it.
2 things is never gonna happen again. What Cleveland Browns got away with did for Deshaun Watson and what Utah Jazz
That'll
did.
happen again.
That's not gonna
That'll
happen
happen
again.
again.
That's not gonna happen.
That'll happen again.
No,
What
it
do
ain't.
Utah
I
Jazz
think so.
do?
When they
I don't know
basically
about
give up the
Utah.
5 draft picks.
Know about
I mean, they'll get the 5 draft picks back. That's
Oh,
2
it's not for
things that
Rudy.
ain't gonna happen. They ain't gonna see that again.
Oh, not for that type of a player, but I think it could happen in a if you got a Giannis type deal. Giannis is gonna warrant that type. If Giannis come out and say, "I don't even want to be in Milwaukee no more. I'm not playing for Milwaukee." You don't think them folks gonna ask for 5 draft picks?
I mean, they
Yeah.
can ask for whatever they want, but most of them GMs and owners is mad at
But
what Danny Ainge did.
but
They not
Icon and
doing.
Steve.
Nobody doing that.
I'm with you. They mad because it's Rudy Gobert. They ain't mad because of who the actual trade itself. It's not like a Deshaun Watson situation where the league is mad because you gave a quarterback that kind of money. Nah, they're mad because you gave away 5 undrafted, unprotected first round picks for Rudy Gobert, who is what a B plus type player. Now you got an A plus type player in Kevin Durant that's on the market. Now you set the market so high that that's not astronomical what they're asking for. That's not unheard of because a B plus player just got. So I have an A
But it is the
plus player.
same thing, Steve. It is the same thing. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you look at Deshaun Watson's resume and you look at these other quarterbacks' resumes, a lot of them saying, first of all, we ain't got no legal troubles. Plus, we got MVPs, we got this, that, the third going for us. So we should be able to ask for the same type of money.
So why you don't think Joe Burrow gonna be able to warrant that type of deal if he keeps up and wins a championship?
I'm not saying he's not going to warrant it, but I don't think he's going to get the full contract guarantee. Not no $230 million guarantee. He might get like
the league gonna change, man.
200.
It's gonna keep changing. It's gonna keep changing.
I bet Joe
He's
do
gonna
get
get there. They're gonna get. He probably be the first. A lot of people said quarterbacks would never, wide receivers wouldn't make the kind of money Tyreek Hill making. Now it's coming, so it's gonna get there. Trust me. Them guaranteed contracts, they're coming,
And they're gonna be in another
they're
lockout.
coming.
If it get to that point, they're gonna be in another lockout. Watch what it take.
I don't doubt it. But who gonna lose more money in that situation? The owners or the players?
The only,
Because the players, then look
It
at all these other
depends.
leagues. Look at all these other leagues sprouting up. Look at all these other leagues sprouting up. They ain't sprouting up for a reason.
I mean,
And then you got college players getting paid too. You don't think the XFL going to get inside that NIL situation? You know, I didn't even know pro wrestling is in NIL right now.
Yep.
pro wrestling.
Yep.
They're giving out pro wrestling deals to college football.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
okay, yeah.
that's their major pipeline.
So I'm just saying the contracts are evolving. Stuff like that will evolve. I think football will eventually be like the NBA and get fully guaranteed and be like baseball. I think
well, I can. Let's talk about.
eventually. I ain't gonna say it no time.
Let's
Gonna say
just
that. No time.
let's just talk about the most embarrassing football player on the planet right now,
Go ahead.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Which somebody said last week, "Oh, Kyler is this, Kyler is that, Kyler is that."
What's wrong with Kyler Murray? He got $280 million. Why he embarrassed? I wouldn't be embarrassed. $280 million.
Bro, he get 105 guaranteed. 105 guaranteed.
Sound good
Okay.
to me.
What y'all gave? What y'all gave
What's the
that?
problem?
It's
He
a very,
get- but
and that's a
What's
very,
embarrassing?
and that's a very team friendly
it's
deal.
quite
By the
obvious
way.
that y'all haven't been reading the sports reports.
So
Did
tell us.
y'all
You talking
see
about that study time? You talking about the study
Yeah,
time?
bro,
Is that what you're talking
that's embarrassing.
Yeah,
You shouldn't even have to make
I
a
agree.
player do that.
about? Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I
bro,
agree. I agree.
like what, man? Like,
But
bro.
let me ask you a question. Do you think that type of deal would have benefited Mike Vick? I just want a yes or no answer. That's all.
You said with
Yeah.
what?
Would that type of a deal have benefited
See,
Mike Vick?
Steve.
Yes or
Why you always hating
I
on
just
Mike
want a
Vick?
yes or no answer.
Why you always
I
hating
just
on Mike
want
Vick,
a
man?
yes or no answer, Jacob.
Your ass
Jacob, I
can't
just
be
want a
from
yes-
Atlanta, man. You
because
definitely might be a
because this type of contract to me, I don't have a problem with it. If I'm giving you
Of course,
that
you
type
don't
of
have a
money,
problem with Steve.
I can put whatever I want. I can put whatever I want in the deal. I'm giving you $100 million
Bro, come on,
guaranteed.
bro. No.
Come on, Steve,
I
man.
ain't
It's
Like, bro,
embarrassing.
listen, man.
It is.
I ain't gonna let you get away with
that.
Embarrassing.
No,
It's
sir.
embarrassing.
No,
It's
sir.
embarrassing that you have to put that in there for your quarterback. I agree 1,000.
But see, you gotta
It
look
is
at it from the
embarrassing.
bigger picture, Steve. You gotta look at it
No, I
deeper.
ain't.
Listen, you gotta look to it deeper. Because black quarterbacks already
Oh,
have the stereotype of being like that in the first place over the last 20 years. Not
what if he proved for the last 3 years he's not studying?
what
I'm just
nah,
asking.
you missing my point, Steve. I'm saying
Go ahead.
over the history of black quarterbacks, if the stereotype with them is they not smart enough to be able to even learn the playbook or whatever. So at the end of the day, if you got to put this in a contract for a black quarterback, that's just like double down on the stereotype of black quarterbacks. So
I don't
that's
think
like
it's
the worst thing that could have ever happened to a quarterback, a black quarterback, to have that in his contract.
What if he's not studying though?
I don't
I'm
think
asking,
it's.
what
I
if
don't
he's
think
not
it's a.
studying
I don't
enough?
think it's. I don't think it's because it's a black quarterback thing. I think it's a
Here we
youth.
go, KB. Here we go,
No,
man.
The man,
Stop it,
listen,
man.
I think I'm talking about Kyler. I think it's a youth maturity thing with Kyler. I don't think it's a black thing. Like we've
Okay.
gotten a little. I understand where it was because Icon 100% correct. I think it's gotten a little bit better.
You're
Don't get me
100%
wrong.
right. I agree.
It's not where it needs to be by far, but it's gotten a little bit better. I mean, the last several years, there's been the top quarterbacks have been black. But I think with Kyler, his thing is just the maturity aspect because he was into the gaming heavy. It was a lot of shit that what these young guys are doing.
He
Like
just should have played
unfortunately,
baseball, bro.
Thank you, bro.
unfortunately, the
He
times are
making more money
changing. Like
than the whole damn Oakland Athletics
Like,
roster.
the times
know,
are
I know.
changing. The times are
He
changing.
made
These players,
the right choice.
right? These players, you got to understand. Like these players, they aren't just living, breathing football 24/7 no more. Like
They
that's
really
just
don't
the
They
care.
time
like
of
these
the.
little
That's
kids.
just
They like these little kids, man. They
right.
just
They be
like this,
gaming.
man. They just like little
They be
kids. You got to
gaming.
turn that shit off.
Right. They
They
be
don't really care,
gaming.
Steve.
They're millionaires. They're
He got the money.
they're
What do
20.
he care
They're
about? I
21.
got the money.
Like they're 21, 22 22-year-old millionaires, $180 million. They're good at what they do, but you know what I'm saying? I think right now the NFL is at this point where the younger guys, it's the transition between like the younger generation and things changing, like they're flashier.
And it's gonna get
Yes.
worse.
It is.
It's going to get
It's
worse.
gonna get
Because
Honestly-
people villainize Kirby. Hold up. People villainized Kirby the other day when he said, "You got to be careful with giving a kid $9 million at the age of 16 or 17." And they villainized him. They took it around. Oh, Kirby against NIL. But now Kyler Murray, same situation, bro. DeAndre Ayton, you give these kids now all this money and all this ability now to have every type of electronic at their fingertips. And now they're just big grown kids. Yeah, you're going to have to put that in their contract for them to cut that shit off.
right.
You're going to have to.
And
let me
unfortunately,
school you on something, Steve. Let me school you on something. You know that black players will still say when they be in the combine that these general managers will ask them stereotypical questions.
correct.
And they say that they don't ask the white players. They'll ask the black players certain typical questions
Yep.
that they don't ask. So that you don't think that now when these black quarterbacks go to the combines, oh, do you like to study? You don't think them type of questions ain't gonna be asked?
They've been asking them questions. They've been asking them questions since Michael Vick was throwing them
That's
damn
my
pictures
point.
in the
That's
backseat.
my point. But now you got a
It ain't
quarterback
changing
that they
nothing.
actually put it on the front line. They actually embarrassed this man. They actually said, for us to give you this money, and for you to
Hold on.
give
Let me
you
ask you a
this
question.
money,
Hold
you got
on.
to do this
Hold on.
for us to give you this money.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Did they have a pistol at that goddamn negotiation? Because he didn't have to sign that contract.
But he
And he
admitted
read
to
it before they.
But if
He
you
read
already
it before
admitted
they
to
gave
If
it
you
to
already
him.
admitted to it, what can you say? If you admitted to it, they said last year the man admitted to it on the interview that he don't really study, that he feel like he already know what's about to happen before it happens.
Well, that's
So
why
if
it's
I'm
in
going to
there.
give you $280 million, Icon, I can't blame the owner for feeling like he needs to secure his money he's giving them.
We're not saying that. We just saying it's the most embarrassing thing that could have happened. We ain't saying
It's
that
embarrassing. It's embarrassing that he said that. He should have never said that.
Yeah, just
He
like
played
AD
himself.
said, when AD said he ain't practiced all, he ain't picked up a basketball. Them two things, some things you just don't say. Some things you just
Right.
keep to yourself.
So he
So I
did. He
can't
set
put
his.
this on the black and white
So he
thing
set
in this
himself up
situation.
for that.
I can't. He do that. He did
He set
that.
himself up with
I
that.
can't put that
Now,
on the white owners. I can't put that on the
if
man.
he never said, if he never
I-
said that, if he never said that, this, I know, I already know what's happening before it happens, blah blah blah. If he never said that, and he just randomly had this in his contract, then yes, 100%. I'd be like, what the hell is
I'm
going
with you.
on? You know what I'm saying, with all this?
Yep.
But the fact that
So I just want to know, in training camp, do you guys really think that they treat the black quarterbacks like they treat the white quarterbacks? And do
in
the black
training,
quarterbacks get the same questions that the white
In
quarterbacks?
training camp,
I'm just saying,
I think the starters, I think
it's
the
been
starters
reported.
and the, I think
It's
the
been
starters
reported that
teach them-
GM asked the most derogatory questions.
you talking about?
Oh, you talking about combine.
You talking about when you
Yeah,
the
yeah.
combine? That's what
Right.
you talking about.
Right.
Oh, you okay?
I'm just saying, man, like don't
Good question.
ask me
I'm
a
gonna ask you a
derogatory
question.
question. If
So I always try to play the devil's advocate. That's just how I was raised. You gotta look at shit from both sides. Excuse me. Sorry. Look at stuff from both sides. Right? If I'm about to invest over $100 million into you and your family, I don't want to be on the news saying Dez Bryant slapped his mama in Target. I don't want that. So if I got to ask you questions about your mama because there's something there, I'm gonna change your life and your whole family's life.
so
I should be able to ask.
am
They say
I
they
not
don't do
the
it to white
safe?
players. They only do it to the
Am-
black players.
Because
No,
again, I said
see,
if something is there.
if-
Now,
if-
so if there's no what they call that
precursor.
there you go.
But who are you to
If
ask
there's
me
no
that
reason
about
for
my
them to
personal
ask
life?
them questions,
My
I'm the
personal life has
guy.
I'm
nothing
the
to do
person
with
that's
that.
about to
I'm the
change
guy
your
that- I'm the guy
life.
that's
So
about
I'm
to
about
give
to
you-
change your life.
Now, is it right?
I don't
Should
have
they-
to answer those questions, bro.
You're right. You have a choice, and a lot of the
I
stuff
would-
they do to them is
I
mind
would
games.
rather you not speak about my mother. Like, come on, bro.
Well, that's your answer.
But you're in the news about with your mama slapping her in Target, and it's a big ass Dallas Cowboy logo beside that fucking headline.
But-
What do you mean?
But you can't just
That's
say
not
that.
what I'm talking about, Steve.
Like,
That's not
no,
what I'm talking about.
hold
I'm
on.
talking about
when you get asked that question, right? When they come in, they be like, "Hey, man, so what do you think about
They
baby?
asked Dez
What
Bryant
do you think
mama
about baby?
was
What do
she
you
a
thinking about
prostitute.
baby
That's
mamas?"
that man. They asked that man straight up, was his mama a prostitute?
Mm.
Right. So you have the
Now
option,
that should be offensive, but
What they got to do with
if
football? What they got to do with
but
him being playing
listen,
football?
Nothing. It
They
listen,
has
got nothing to
nothing
do
to do
with
with
it.
Y'all gonna let
football.
KB
They
talk?
ain't got
yeah,
nothing to do with it.
dang. Listen,
Y'all gonna let
it's
KB
not
talk?
right.
Crystal
It's not.
Floyd,
Okay,
It's
KB, talk, man, talk.
it's not about. You gotta also understand that when they ask these questions to these guys, 90% of the time they are trying to fuck with them to see what they're gonna do. They're trying to see what they're going to do. They're trying to get under their skin, try to see how they deal with the pressure, how they deal with something that they 100% don't agree with, how they're going to answer the question. Are they going to fake it? Are they going to be real? Who am I dealing with? So you have the opportunity as a grown ass man when they ask you a question to say, man, don't ask me that. That's disrespectful. You have the opportunity. Now, if you want to go up there and tap dance and be like, "Whoa, sir, that's your decision." But a lot of times they're going in there and it's not the regular interview because I'm not getting paid $20 an hour. You're getting paid $20 million for the next 3-4 years. So I'm gonna ask you. So I might ask you some shit and focus you a little bit, especially if it's a guy that we don't really know if we're gonna pick anyway, and we just kind of just testing it to see, if you're there, we may fuck with you, we may not. That's why a lot of them are doing that because it's not just all the black players. It's some white players get it too, but all the black players don't get it. Like you kind of got to put in the context of who's getting it. Now, should any of them be getting it? No. Should they play those games? Absolutely not. This is 100% disrespectful. However, that gives you the opportunity to be who you are and tell them and be real with what's going to happen. Don't be up there tap dancing if that's not who you are.
Yeah, but you asking a 21-year-old kid or 21-year-old man, whatever, you asking a 21-year-old to know to do that when you can dangle $100 million in his face.
Yeah, I
So like
mean,
that's you know what I'm saying? Like I might tap dance a little bit too. Cause you don't
you
really know
better
no
you
better.
better if you want to get picked when you're supposed to get picked.
Yeah, but the questions and
I'm just playing. No, it is bad. It
it's
is bad.
already been said and proven that there are racial undertones to the question.
yeah,
We know this.
There is. And the white players aren't asked, majority of the white players aren't asked what majority of the black players are asked. And you think you can dangle the money because that black kid comes from a impoverished neighborhood or impoverished family or whatever. So you feel you can be basically disrespectful because he he need that money from you, or you think or whatever. Like you're asking a
But now
21-year-old,
NIL might
22-year-old to know
change
that.
that now. NIL might change that now. Though I
exactly,
already got $9 million from college. You can't talk to me like that.
See,
exactly,
right,
and
you're
that
right. Now that might change it, but
Yeah,
thus
it will.
far,
I think it will.
we already know that there are racial undertones to the question.
for sure.
They've already proven that.
But to go back to what we were saying about Kyler Murray. The thing about it is, I agree with what you're saying about that. They got a right to put whatever they want to in the contract. And what I'm saying is that Kyler Murray, yes, Kyler Murray is the one that should be embarrassed because he said what he said.
He said what he
Kyler Murray is
said.
the one that's not studying, and that's what makes it so embarrassing. Is because
He
we're
ain't
trying to
studying.
get ahead. It's just like when you see all these rappers killing each other, and it's like, damn, you get out the hood, they giving you this money, and you still fucking it up. So at the end of the day, it's like, bruh, you making the rest of us look bad because we fought to get to this point. Well, now, like KB saying, we got more black quarterbacks than we ever had. That's on top of their game than we ever had in NFL. And now you gonna damn near set us back because of your shit that you doing. Cause you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So that's what I'm saying. It's not the owners got the right to do whatever they want. But the embarrassing part is all on Kyler Murray, 100%. It's just the fact that we should be in 2022. That's the last thing you should be asking about a quarterback is he studying? Hell, if everybody should have learned from Michael Vick. Every black
Right,
quarterback.
and then,
Nothing else.
but not just that, they're saying you should study for 4 hours, right? They're saying we're requiring 4 hours. All the people that's on TV is like, man, that's laughable. They was like, yo, I'm the long snapper and I study for 4 hours. You know what I'm saying, for film. Like the quarterback should be studying 4 times that. You know what I'm saying? For the
Right.
thing. So the fact that he admitted that he didn't study like that. You know what I'm saying? So which automatically that directly correlates to success on the field and money. So now you have that situation. So you have to put that in a contract. You have to protect yourself some way to say, okay, if you're not doing this in the future, we can void your whole contract.
And this is the worst part about it. The worst part about this whole thing, other than that, was the fact that your own coach didn't even have your back. Your own coach said, "Well, I ain't got nothing to do with it. Whatever happened, ain't got nothing to do with me. I ain't had nothing to do with what they did."
Well, Kingsbury, his
That
guy.
would put
Like,
him in the GM.
no,
And that's a lie. Because who went back and told the coach what you doing? Who told? I mean,
He said it. He said it
said it.
himself.
what you
I
doing?
know. He said it
He
on
said
the
it.
interview.
But bro, what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, the coach and the GM probably have conversations. They have dinner together, whatever. So you don't think when they sitting around just chopping it up, the coach ain't saying to the GM, "Man, I love Kyler Murray to death, but this don't like the
I
study."
think that's
I'm
more
gonna
of
tell
an
you.
owner.
I'm gonna tell you what it
I
is.
think that's
No,
more of a
I'ma
owner. That's more of an owner and a GM conversation. But this owner says, "I have a problem with what he just said. How are you going to secure my money when we give it to him? Well, we
But
can
it
put
has
this
to
in
be.
the
It has to
contract to
be
make it
better.
say this."
But you don't think that the GM or the owner ain't going down to the coach and say, "Okay, we heard what he said on the interview.
Yeah,
How true is this
after the
really?"
owner give the direction, yeah, it go down.
Okay,
no.
Yeah,
then.
after
What I'm
direction,
saying
then
is,
they
for the
got to go
coach
to the
to got
agent.
nothing to do with it, that's a lie. You have to have something. You the
No,
leader.
listen,
You the leader. So
listen,
you,
listen.
if nothing else, you accountable because you're not enforcing him to do it.
What's
So you
real? But
you accountable.
no, what's more realistic about this? Because Cliff Kingsbury is him. Kyler is his guy. Like Kyler, his guy from the college days. That's 100% his guy. He wants Kyler. I think it was more of a situation to where ownership and them was like, I don't know if we're gonna offer this guy. He ain't really performed to earn this contract, and why commit to somebody long term? I think Cliff went to them, the head coach, and was like, "Yo, I want my guy." And they said, "Okay, if we want him, we're gonna put this in his contract because there's no damn way I'm gonna give him this and not have some way to cancel this if something doesn't happen." And I think that was more of the coach going to them saying like, "Yo, this is my guy. I want my guy. You know, who we going to go after?" type thing. And he fought his case, and this was the middle ground. Like, all right, we'll offer him a contract. It's very team friendly. The details of the contract, he has to play exceptionally well and meet all these criteria to even get remotely close to this max portion of his contract. So you're like, okay, we'll give 110 million for what was it, 5 years? Realistically, it's guaranteed. So that's 20 million a year, really. And quarterbacks are getting paid 40, 50
40.
million dollars a year.
That
That's
got 45.
that's a deal.
Damn.
That's a deal, especially a guy in his youth for what Kyler can do, and you can void it at any time based off of that clause you put in there. So they pretty much they ironclad shut protect themselves. This is going to be 100% on Kyler. If he don't get his
Dallas should have
money,
did that.
it's on him. Exactly. Like, but they have. That's what happens when the GM and the owner isn't sold on a guy, and they're like, "All right, coach, we're going to do this for you because we want to keep you, and we want to keep your guy. All right, so this is what we're going to give him." And that's why Kyler signed it, because he really ain't got a choice. He's going to go out there and risk not getting that big contract because you ain't going to get that Dak contract, because at least Dak got him to the playoffs to do a little something. He something he didn't have, but Kyler really ain't been doing.
Yo,
Kyler
Steve,
ain't
watch
been
your
doing
mouth,
nothing.
bro. Watch your mouth, bro.
Yeah.
But Kyler hasn't really
Why?
done anything, so that's the whole point.
Why? Well, Dallas ain't did that for nobody else. Give nobody.
I mean, Jerry's
9-8, brother. 9-8.
You really pay more attention to the Cowboys than you pay attention to the Falcons.
You know
are
that's
a
a lie.
damn
You know
pitiful
that's a
disgrace.
lie. Now you know that's a lie. You know that's a lie. You don't even believe that. You don't even believe that your damn. I can't even believe you open up your mouth on that. Go and drink that dog again.
You heard what I said, man. You heard what I said, and I stand on it. You heard it. You heard it.
You standing in quicksand, young man.
Yeah, you heard what I said.
Since you talking with your chest pulled out, I think you're gonna mess around and eat crow this season.
Why? My
Because
team
your
ain't
boy,
gonna be good.
because your boy went to the one place where he can actually get some of his swag back. He went to the one place. Don Julio. That's what I'm talking about.
Julio.
The
Don Julio. That's what I call him. I call him Don
Lord
Julio. He went
Listen,
to the
hey, let
worst
me ask you a
place.
question. Is Tom Brady a trainer? Is
Huh?
Tom Brady a trainer?
He got one of the best.
Is Tom Brady a trainer?
I'm just saying, well, we
He
can't.
I
gonna
think you
need him.
hating
He
on
gonna
Julio.
need him.
I
Cause
think you
them
hating, bro.
hamstrings is
Come
cooked,
on,
baby.
bro.
Do you
Listen,
think
can't
them
do you think
determine
hamstrings.
Julio
injury.
do you think Julio is better than AB?
No.
No.
I don't think so either. But I think he'll be a good possession guy.
You said Julio better than who?
I said, do you think
Antonio Brown. No. Right now.
Oh,
No.
AB. I thought you said
No.
AD. I was like, what?
no. I think Julio's gonna be a good, consistent catcher. He's not gonna be the deep guy. He's gonna be the guy that runs the 8-yard out, the run that comes on a route up guys. He's be the
But
one
that's
who's gonna.
not gonna work because he's
Why
gonna be
not?
limping off the field. He's hurt all the time. He can't go across the middle like that.
He doesn't need to go across the middle. That's not gonna be his thing.
You
He's
just
gonna be
said
that
he's gonna catch an
They got
8-yard
Godwin
pass.
for
You know,
that.
8-yard out.
8 and out. That's not across the
Godwin
middle.
hurt. He got the ACL.
He gonna run
I'm
Hold on.
asking.
comeback.
I said, what?
He
So
gonna run
you
comeback.
telling me that
8 and out.
Julio ain't capable of giving you a couple of games where he might catch 100, where he might
Yeah,
get
he
100
can.
yards in a game, couple of times this season.
I can see it.
I can. Did he do it last year?
Who was his quarterback?
Come on, bro. You gon' don't. So that's like you saying
The quarterback wasn't the problem last year. The quarterback wasn't the problem. The quarterback was not the issue. Julio standing on the sideline in a jogging suit. That's the problem. He's standing on the sideline in damn street clothes.
So you just gonna put the man on the injury list? You just ain't gonna get that man.
I told people last year he wasn't gonna play 5 games. He played 4. I mean, bro, I'm just telling you, I've seen it. He's not equipped to go through an NFL season. His lower extremities are gone. He's going to have an ankle injury. He hurt himself in the preseason last year in practice. So you can believe that fairy tale. I just gotta see it. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is he gonna give you if I'm gonna put the man on the field. I ain't gonna be like you. I ain't gonna give the man an injury. I'm gonna put the man on the field.
I'm not give you an injury, bro. In the last 3-4 seasons, he's played a total of 13 games. I'm not making this up.
I'm gonna put the man on the field enough that he gonna make an impact, especially early on, because Chris Godwin probably not gonna be there until probably about October. You know what I'm saying? So I know they said they cleared him to play, but they said only why they cleared him to play, so they wanted to put him on the PUP list. But they ain't really cleared him to play. It just if he do happen to be ready by week 3 or week 4, they can put him out. They don't have to wait the whole 6 weeks or whatever it is. But I don't think he's gonna be ready off no ACL after no 7 months. He ain't no Adrian Peterson. So I don't, especially as a wide receiver, I don't think that's gonna happen. So then you really got is Mike Evans on the other side or whatever. In a couple.
You got Russell Gage. They got Russell Gage. They got Russell Gage, who's a good player on the inside.
Russell Gage, really?
Gronkowski's retired.
Really, Russell Gage? I ain't really. That's who you
I bet you.
I
tell you what. I got you. I got this for you. I bet you Russell Gage finishes the season with more touchdowns than Julio.
I mean, he might, because Julio was never no touchdown machine though. Even at his height, he wasn't no touchdown machine. So what you saying?
He was standing on the sideline and goddamn street clothes.
I'm just saying, you said he gonna end up with more touchdowns than Julio.
I mean, that's
Julio,
the only thing that matters.
For about yards, he was never a touchdown machine. He was never that.
But that was more. I think that was more on the quarterback. Now y'all telling me Tom Brady's gonna fix everything, and then he's gonna be 1,000-yard
fix everything, but he gonna know how to use him. He gonna know how to use him more than Ryan Tannehill did.
I hope he know how to massage his ankle and goddamn hamstrings too. That nigga hamstrings is cooked, bro. I'm sorry. He's coming out of the breaks. He's ripping them hamstrings.
You sad, Steve.
I'm
you
sorry,
sad, bro.
I know. I don't expect for you to recognize it. You still believe CD Lamb, so it's okay.
But do you think it'll be? Do you think it'll be different now that he won't be?
You just a hater, bro.
That
man don't even play with y'all anymore, and you still want to hate on the man.
Once Godwin comes back,
how about that?
Once Godwin comes back,
he'll be the third option.
I think he'll be effective then. Once Godwin comes back, and I think you'll see him make some good
Hold on, stop it. That makes no sense, Steve. You just said he's ineffective because he hurt. So, because Chris Godwin back, he also gonna get help.
Yeah, because you won't require for Julio won't be out there with 5 or 10 plays a game. That's why.
So you can't.
You crazy, man.
If you're gonna put him out there, if you're gonna line him up as a number 2 on the other side, just like they did last year in Tennessee, you're going to be sadly mistaken.
I'm not saying he'll be number 2. I'm just saying he'll make enough. I'll put it like this: if anybody gonna know how to use him, there's 2 quarterbacks in this league that know how to use him: Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, and probably maybe Patrick Mahomes. Them 3 right there, I bet you get the best out of them.
As long as they got a good trainer.
Yeah, well, he like a horse. Just shoot him, get him out of misery. Just go ahead, just shoot him.
I ain't saying that, bro, but I think he went to the perfect place. Perfect place. If Godwin is healthy too. But right now, as it's constructed, I don't trust Julio as my number 2, bro. I can't do that.
I don't think they're gonna use him as a number 2. I don't think they're gonna use him as a number 2.
Well, you just said Russell Gage wouldn't work with them. Who else they got?
I mean, I don't think he'll be their number 2 though. I still think he'd be number 2.
Well, you ain't answer my question. Who else they got? I just told you the other option. Russell Gage. You told me to throw that shit out the window.
They got Mike Evans. I mean, you say Russell Gage, but I mean, he probably will be their number 2 just because of the fact they don't want to overuse Julio. And you know.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they probably will use him.
I can't get excited about the player I don't want to overuse. This football we talk about. So I can't. I mean, what are we talking about here?
I mean, what you mean?
They said he got to learn.
They didn't it's been a history of. Look at how Von Miller was used last year. I mean, sometimes you just have a player there for the key moments when you need them. A big football game, you know what I mean, or a big playoff game. You don't need them for every situation. And Tom Brady understands that more than anybody, being about 70 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
I'll tell you what. When that injury report comes out, we'll talk about it.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna have that too. You gonna put me on the injury reserve in the club?
Oh, man. I've seen it enough, man. I've seen it enough, bro. He just always had like a deteriorating ankle and foot since he came in the league. So, he came in the league with a.
So Steve, you gonna tell me when Julio was in Atlanta got no good use out of Julio.
He was hurt, man.
Atlanta had no good use out of Julio.
Don't. I ain't saying it like that. Don't.
And so many words you have.
Next, I'm gonna do you like Vlad. Next question.
Yeah, like and so many words you have, man. You act like that
next question.
Anything for Atlanta, bro. That's what you act like.
Next question.
As I thought.
He did. He almost came through and won it by himself. But almost don't count unless we doing what? I told y'all, playing horseshoe. We ain't playing horseshoe. I don't want to get back on almost.
What's wrong with y'all Falcon fans? You can't talk about Jacob no more. Because y'all expectations way too high. You can't talk about Jacob. Y'all expectations way too high.
Are you really? Are the commies talking? The commies are talking. Okay, go ahead.
You said the what?
The commies. That's y'all name. The commies.
First of all, we've been in the playoffs since y'all have been. We've been in playoffs since
we are the Commanders.
So, y'all really can't say nothing. We actually been in the playoffs in the last couple of years. Right or wrong? Okay.
One and done don't count, but okay. Just because Jacob on the phone, I know he's gonna say something about Dak in that one. Just because Jacob on the phone, and that's only Dak one claim to fame, that one playoff game he got.
So that means unless you win a Super Bowl, then nobody, unless you win a game, then nobody matters.
Quick question. Do you remember second place?
Okay, so that means no team in history that's been in the playoffs that matter then. It shouldn't matter then unless you win the Super Bowl. That's what you're saying?
That's what y'all always tell me. Falcons ain't got no championship. Falcons ain't got no championship.
I never said that. I don't make that argument with you. But you got high expectations for your team, and they've never come through.
No, not this year. No, what? George, give me that national championship over there.
We're talking about pro football. Stop it, buddy.
Right now.
He said my teams. Let's stop that, Jake.
We're talking about
pro
football.
He said my team.
Pro football. I don't want to hear nobody no damn Georgia Bulldogs. We talking about pro football.
One pro team.
I ain't got but one pro football.
I ain't got but one pro team. That man said you always have high expectations for your team. Now, that's what he said. I responded to that. and I got 2
I
trophies sitting over
didn't
here
say
behind me.
I didn't
One
say
world
team.
championship from the Braves, and I got a national championship sitting over here. What y'all want?
I ain't say teams. I said team. I said team. I ain't say team.
Yeah, we know the Falcons
Oh
gonna
boy,
beat ass. Them
boy.
boys probably Falcons might
Oh
win 2
boy.
games this year.
Oh my goodness. Y'all, well, y'all
Might win.
might win a big slug so y'all get Bryce Young.
Might win 2 games. I'm gonna be at all of them though. That ain't
That's
man.
y'all might want to lose a bunch of games so y'all get Bryce Young.
Exactly. Or Will Anderson. I take the pass rusher before the quarterback. That's different.
What?
Yeah, I want the pass rusher, man. I think Will Anderson is the Lawrence Taylor is type
What
player. That's my opinion.
linebacker?
That linebacker from Alabama.
Willie
You got
Anderson.
KB. What you think? Am I wrong?
Willie
Am I
Anderson.
giving him too much credit, KB?
You talking about Willie
Yeah.
Anderson?
Willie Anderson is that
Yeah.
guy.
Hold on. Stop.
Yeah.
Hold on. Time out. I wish I had video laughing right now. Because last year,
What?
well, you wasn't on the show yet, I don't think. Were you on the show when the national championship game came around?
Nah, y'all didn't want me on that show.
You wasn't on yet, right?
Nah, y'all didn't want me on that.
No,
Why not?
okay. So
Because I was cutting up. I had big fathers. I was popping fathers on live. I was acting crazy. Going ham.
Jacob and Crystal, I want to know if y'all remember this. But when I was talking about Willie Anderson after that game, KB told me that Willie Anderson was overrated.
I never said that.
Bruh, you
The hell
said
you
he
did.
was not the best. I told you he was the best player on the team that night in the game. You said, "No, he overrated. He ain't all that."
Will Anderson?
Yes, that night when I told you he single-handedly almost won that game by himself, and you told me he was overrated.
Nah.
I don't see how anybody
Jacob,
can
you
rate that
remember
ball
this
for that boy.
I
don't know,
remember.
man.
I remember.
Bring up the tape, man. I don't believe it.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find. I'm gonna go back. Hopefully by Sunday, I'm gonna see if I can find that show from that night, from the day after that game, when we talked about it that Sunday after that game when you said that. Because you were talking about all these other players. Because you started talking about how all these players that was about to come out of that was about to get drafted over here. And I said, well, he single-handedly almost won that damn game by himself that night. Like he was the only player on the field that was really scaring me on that defensive that night.
Yeah, he did that though.
He did do,
play
man.
after play after play.
Yeah, Will is that dude. And now, don't get me wrong. For the Falcons, put like this: if the Falcons have #1 pick and you don't get a chance to see what the rookie quarterback has really got a chance to show you, then I'm going Will Anderson. But if you put the rookie quarterback in there halfway through the season and we see that he really just not that guy, then yeah, I'm gonna take Bryce.
So are y'all gonna play y'all rookie quarterback this year?
If Mariota started off 4-0, no. But if Mariota started off goddamn 1-3, 1-5, 1-6, yeah, you'll see the rookie. Because you got to. Because you don't want to have that high pick. You don't have that high pick, and then you don't know if this kid actually plays.
Georgia.
So you gotta let him
Whoa,
play.
Georgia. So in your Georgia mind, how likely is it for you, the way you think about football, do you see Marcus Mariota going 4-0?
I don't even know what the first 4 games. I'm playing New Orleans first. So, I mean, again, my expectations for this season aren't high. They won 7 games. I mean, they won, 9 games last year, something like that, 8 games last year. That's way more than I expected. And I think this roster is better than last year, but you don't know what you're going to get out of Mariota. Like, we don't. Nobody don't know. He ain't played. He played for KB them last. I don't even know what Mariota's been looking like. So I can't tell you what he's gonna do, my brother. No clue.
He really ain't been looking like shit. So
he won a national championship.
he did.
So at one point he was somebody.
You're right.
He got drafted #1 overall.
Yeah.
So at one point he was somebody.
Mariota, he's still agile enough to make the run when need be. You won't call no read options with him, but if something breaks down, he'll do it. He's a good game manager, but he's not gonna 2-minute drill. Let's go 80 yards. Like I don't know if he's gonna do that.
Yeah.
So, Steve, when you seen them pick up Marcus Mariota, what was your thought?
We still gonna draft a quarterback.
Okay.
I still knew we were gonna draft a quarterback. I didn't know that Riddle or I didn't know any of those quarterbacks could fall. So I mean, you drafted him with a 3rd round pick. So if you do get Bryce Young next year and let them battle it out in camp, I mean, go with what you do, right?
Okay.
You didn't waste a high pick on him.
So as long as he can manage the game on the offensive end, are y'all?
They ain't gonna win.
No, I'm just saying, are you guys okay at the running back position and the wide receiver and tight end position? Can he make something happen?
I don't know. I mean, they got players. You got a lot of question marks. Cordell Patterson can play. Kyle Pitts can play. But do I want to see Cordell Patterson taking snaps as my running back? Not really, no. There are a few guys that are still in the running back room that have an opportunity. I think they got that guy from Kansas City, Damian Williams, is his name?
Right.
They got him over there now. They drafted the rookie out of BYU who got first team snaps yesterday. You still got, like I said, you do have 84. I like Kyle Pitts. I mean, I think Kyle Pitts is probably the highest rated offensive player we got. I hate to say that because KB did. I mean, you got a lot of question marks at wide receiver, man. I don't have high expectations.
And y'all gonna get about 50 a game.
Say what now?
And y'all gonna get about 50 points a game.
No, I doubt that. I think the defense will be much improved. I actually think the defense, they'll be one of the top.
Well,
I say they'll be between 12 and 18.
Well, see, the thing, just because like the players you may have make it better, but you got to think about it like this: if the offense can't stay out on the field, will that wear them down halfway through the season? Because if your offense,
but I think they will. I actually think they will be able to now, though, Icon, because you couldn't do that last year because Matt Ryan's a statue. So, like KB said, when the play break down and it's 3rd and 4, he can't run and pick this shit up. Now you have a player that can actually extend drive and extend plays because of their legs. So you may actually get a chance to catch the defense, you know what I'm saying, off guard, pick up a first down. Whereas Matt Ryan's not making the 8-yard run because somebody can run from 30 yards down the field and catch up to him before he goes 8 yards. So that's not gonna be. You have that aspect now to extend drives. I don't think you had that with Matt Ryan. And then, like you said, 3 and out. The defense is on the field with 3 straight 3 and outs. They tired. You know what I mean? At that point, you're giving up long coverages and big plays. So I do think you'll have an improvement on that if stuff goes the way I want to. And you got to play that complementary football type thing. So if Mariota can extend some drives and help the defense out, you never know what can happen. But you're not doing that with Matt Ryan, though. If that play is not perfect, everything is not perfect in that play. Oh, yeah.
Well, but I mean, yeah, but at the same time, he had a strong enough arm to get it down the field. Whereas Marcus Mariota is kind of one dimensional. I'm saying Matt Ryan was.
You need to stop.
Was more than serviceable. He was more than serviceable.
No, you ain't. Nah.
Hold on.
Your son could throw a deep ball spiral better than Matt Ryan. I don't want to hear that.
Scoring teams in the NFL over the last 5 years.
2016, Icon. 16. How long ago was that?
No, I'm saying over the last few years they were still putting up numbers, points.
No.
They weren't putting up. What was they? Where was they ranked last year offensively?
Bro, that was trash.
I ain't ask you that. I asked you where they ranked offensively.
Probably 30. I know they ranked 32 in rushing.
I ain't ask you that. I'm talking about scoring.
That's an offensive stat, right?
Okay, scoring. Okay, let me break it to scoring.
Scoring-wise, they might have been like 23rd, 22nd. Not in the top half, Icon. They weren't that good. The offensive line can't block. Matt Ryan, I just told you everything has to be perfect.
Hold on. Okay, so what? Not last year, but what? Like the year before last? What?
Icon. Now you going back way too far for us. be talking about
What-
anything
no,
that's
answer me the
relevant.
question.
They have not been a top scoring offense since 2016.
answer
And
me the
then
question.
2000. I'm reading it. I'm reading it right here. They have not been a top scoring offense since 2016. In 2017, they followed that up, being the second highest scoring offense.
Okay.
Ever since then, they've been in the lower 20s.
Okay, but was it Matt Ryan in MVP's
Shanahan.
discussion about 2 years ago?
No, that's 2016.
It was-
We in 2022.
I thought he was at least
I'm
like
reading
I
it.
thought he was at least in the discussion like top like
No.
4 or 5 or somewhere like that about 2-3
Icon.
years ago.
In Matt Ryan's career, he's received MVP votes 1 year, and that's 2016 when he won. He's not received an MVP vote any other year outside.
Okay, so let me ask you, what was his touchdown numbers over each year of the last 2-3 years?
But they ain't good. You're about to get 18, I think 22, and then something else like that. You ain't gonna get that high. I hope this ain't what you're banking on. Hold on one second. Y'all think? Okay, you want the last two. So you got 20.
I know last year he had a
20,
down year with
20.
it was, but what before that?
20, 20, and 26. 20, 20, and 26. There you go. Then
So
you want the
basically his whole
interceptions
career,
too? You
his
just
whole
want the
career he been
touchdowns.
around 2026, right?
Yeah, about that. And touchdowns, he's averaging. Hold on, let me get that. So he went 12 interceptions last year, 11 interceptions the year before that, 14 interceptions the year before.
So I'm just trying to figure out how the hell he lasted 15 years for y'all if he was so sorry.
Because off the blankets like Jerry. He'll pay you for mediocrity.
Oh my God.
He will pay you for loyalty. He even came out and said, I had the wrong approach. That's my bad. I'm sorry. I should not have had that type of approach with these players, but he gets so close to them. You can't do that. And they're not producing. Now, if they winning and you're in the playoffs, cool. But Matt Ryan's only been to the playoffs a couple times. He ain't been to the playoffs every year. He ain't been to the playoffs since 2016, like 17. Sorry.
Yeah, well, yeah,
That's 5 years, right?
but that ain't just on him. The whole team fell apart after they lost that Super Bowl. The whole team fell apart.
And they should have broke it. They should have broke it down after that Super Bowl. When they went to Philly that next year and lost on that last play, after that you should have busted it all.
Well, let me ask y'all about this then. What about Jimmy Garoppolo?
Nothing.
I take him in Atlanta. I take him in ATL.
You said you'll take him next
Because
year.
I take him in the ATL this year. No, I think you can win with Jimmy. I would take Jimmy over Mariota.
Because a lot of people, the people I seen today on Colin Cowherd, and he said that.
Yeah, you go with that Colin Cowherd.
I swear, man. I swear, man.
I was saying they said they had a stat in the last 9 games of the season. He had the number 1 passing percentage, 70%, and he had the number 2 passing per attempt in the NFL in the last 9 games. So everybody now, touchdown wise, he don't throw a lot of touchdowns, but he's not as bad as people try to make him out to be.
Hey, if somebody touching the tree, it's something on the tree.
Especially due to the fact that his receivers not really used as receivers. Like none of his players are really used as receivers. Everybody uses gadget running backs.
But it's Kyle Shanahan, so people feel like, even me, I feel like he's going to get the best out of his players on offense. Like, I would trust Kyle Shanahan to run my offense if I had a preschool team. Like, I feel like he knows how to put players in positions where they get the most out of them. He doesn't have a prototypical wide receiver on that team. I think Debo is what, 6'3"?
Yeah.
6'4".
Yeah.
He's not a big prototypical wide receiver. They just signed. The Miami Dolphins signed Muhammad, but they had Sanu. They had the big wide receivers like that, but they don't have that. In my opinion,
they don't use him. They don't use him as a wide receiver, really. Barely. He barely a glory. You know what? The San Francisco plays high school offense. You know how in high school where you coach, you got
It's
the
old
players got all
school.
that
Yeah.
speed and they use everybody as gadget players. That's basically what the 49ers is playing as high school offense.
But they got a run game. Though. They got a run game that's like really smash you in the mouth. So I mean, they run a lot of them gadget plays, but then they start coming downhill on you, and it makes it tough to keep up with the gadget plays.
But
Ain't that right, Jake?
what I'm saying is, if you watch college, like Jacob could attest to this. Back in the day, like in the '90s, a lot of teams coaches didn't really throw the ball like that. Everybody played like I formation or split or even wishbone type offense, and then
Right.
their players all they did was run the ball, and because a lot of time the quarterback wasn't he didn't have that kind of arm anyway. So they did a lot of gadget plays, gadget running. That's why you had these running backs a lot of times in high school running for 300-400 yards or whatever a game because they never threw the ball. You know what I'm saying? And that's just kind of the same thing with the 49ers do. It's only 12 minutes in a high school game, and the clock is running. And a lot, you know what I'm saying, in certain, I mean, I don't know how it is in, some places, but I know, like in North Carolina, the clock damn near keep running the whole time. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. So it's hard. If you run it for 200-300 yards, that shit hard to do.
We don't have no running clock unless you get blown out.
Well, I don't mean like running like that, but I mean like running like to the point where basically it's only stopping. It's not even stop. It don't even really stop when you run out of bounds unless you're in the fourth quarter. It's only stopping like maybe like certain situations, certain situations. But it's pretty much that clock is pretty much running. So for you to run for 200-300 yards in a football game, that's hard to do. I don't care on any level. You know what I'm saying? And that comes from a lot of the fact you're not throwing the ball like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know my son. I know my son high school. They went. Shit, I was so frustrated, and they had me, the audience looking at me crazy because I'm like, damn, why did you never throw the ball? I'm talking about they running the ball on every play, sweep up the middle, everything. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? It could be 3rd and 45. They running the ball.
No, the clock. I mean, when I ref there, like the clock runs, depending on how they get out of bounds, type thing. So, but the refs keep the game moving. So sometimes it'll be a thing to stop the clock, but the refs will keep the clock rolling just to get up out of there.
Yeah. That's basically what I mean. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like how you got these long ass NFL or college games where the college they stop for every damn thing and the game be 4 hours long. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't say how in the hell a college game is long. It takes longer to play a college game than it do.
Well, 12 minutes. Varsity games are 15. Varsity games are 15. Everybody play an hour.
Yeah. They must have changed it because I know when we was in high school it was 12.
Yeah, no, they changed it. That's
that was back in the 60s.
That's JV.
Yeah, you funny. You a funny motherfucker.
With the Rudy Rudigers.
Do you remember they talking about they ain't got no wide receiver? They wide receiver lined up in the
3-point stand, wing T. Everything's the wing T.
Yeah, you're right. That's how it was too. Shoot, ain't nobody throwing. They throwing the ball. They're throwing the ball. Ain't gonna be up about 10 yards. Quarterback can't throw. He throw the ball 40 yards down the field. It's going into the stands. You know what I'm saying it's gonna hit the cheerleader in the back of the head.
No, that's funny. But no, it's 15. JV play 12. Middle schools usually play 12 as well.
Oh. What the hell is that noise? I don't know. Some cows behind me.
Well, this season's about to start, and it's about to go down. I'm super excited.
What you think y'all gonna do though, old school? What y'all gonna do in that?
Oh yeah, we
you haven't won back-to-back division championships since 1996.
You're right. A long time.
Well, I got to take up for my brother on this one. That's the NFC East in general. There hasn't been back-to-back NFC champions since the Eagles was doing it, making that run with Donovan McNabb or whatever. So I think that's the last time that we had back-to-back NFC East champions or whatever.
Yeah.
So
right. So all I'm gonna say is this right here, man. Is I actually think the Cowboys shot themselves in the foot with some of the players that we lost. Because we should have paid Cedric Wilson before we paid Gallup. Yeah, man. Like I don't know how the hell Jerry did that, because the motherfucker gonna miss. He gonna miss the first 4 or 5 games. Believe that. You know what I mean? And you gave him $62.5 million. Come on, bro.
Yeah. We'll see, man. I think it'll be interesting. I got I don't know. I like Philly coming out of the East.
Well, I mean, Philly added a lot of pieces, man. But you can put your daughter out there to be their quarterback, because
that's true. I don't trust that quarterback.
No sir, bro.
Don't trust it. Don't trust it as far as I can throw it. So, yeah.
And surprisingly, I'm this is what I'm gonna say. Per Terry McLaurin, report said that he feels like that the relationship that he's building with Wentz is going to be a good one, and it's going to show on the field. That's what he said.
Wentz is better. Wentz is better than Matt Ryan, though. I've been telling people that the Colts ain't going to have a better record than they had last year.
Yeah.
I've been arguing with people on Twitter all day.
Hold on. You said Wentz better than Matt Ryan. I just want to ask you a question.
I'll tell you Wentz over Matt Ryan right now. Yeah.
Well, I just want to ask you a question.
Not in totality, but right now.
I just want to ask you a question. Matt Ryan won the MVP, right?
I said not in totality. I said right now.
Okay.
Not in totality.
Well, man. Anytime somebody been throwing the ball 15, 16, 17 years, I think after year 13, a lot of people slow down.
Who been throwing that long? Matt Ryan ain't been there that long, has he? I think he's about year 13. I think it's year 12, 13.
So I was thinking
Matt
that Matt
Ryan
Ryan been in the league maybe like 14 seasons.
Should he better be better than Matt Ryan at this point? If he ain't, something wrong. You need to get
first preseason game is Thursday, August 4th. So is that next week?
Who was that?
Yeah. That's actually next Thursday.
First preseason game, that Thursday night. Jaguars at the Raiders.
Yeah.
At Kansas.
How long Joe Burrow gonna be out for the appendix?
Oh. I need to see how long they said.
Damn, I can't. You know about Joe Burrow like that, man?
What about the appendix?
Yeah, man. Like you. But my bad, man. You been following Joe below the level, man. So you know.
Yeah, but I'm really curious to see if they're gonna be able to at least not necessarily get to the Super Bowl, but to have the kind of success where they can at least win a division and get make a run.
If he can go to the Super Bowl with that line that he recently had, and from what I hear, they beefed up on the line pretty good, I think that he'll make another run.
Oh yeah, they got y'all boy. They got La'el Collins. I don't know how y'all ain't keep him, but yeah, they got him.
Yeah, like from what I hear, who beefed up on the line the most was Jacksonville and Cincinnati.
Yep, Jacksonville got better all over.
Well,
and they got a new coach.
Well, yeah, and then
they got rid of her.
I heard some of the players, man. Come on, man. Irvin probably at the script club tossing up right now, making that thing rain, man. You know, his wife being on Twitter praying to Jesus, and stuff like that, bro. Like Irvin had the black chick on his lap and stuff, and his wife tried to defend him, and I said, oh boy, she She definitely one of them old school women. She love him, boy. I mean, she was defending him too, bro.
The life she's become accustomed to, boy.
Yeah, man. Cause man, Irvin and boy. Listen, man. Irvin, the white Uncle Luke. Yeah, the white Uncle Luke, man.
You wild.
And man, just like I tell people, man, people don't believe me, man. That fallout in the Dallas locker room, hey, man. Cooper blamed Dak for losing that game and told him, man, just get out my face. You the Black Kirk Cousins. Listen, man. And Jerry got wind of it, and Cooper had to go.
Well, like I said, I'm with y'all, man. I'm ready for the football season. I'm kind of tired of all this basketball talk anyway.
Hey, man.
It don't make sense, man. It's getting on my nerves. I don't give a damn where KD go, man. He can go play for the New Bears. All I damn care.
At this point, I'm over it. Just get the season started when they get started and go from there. I'm more excited to see Miami and Texas A&M on the third week of the season to see if we've improved it all.
That ain't who you want to try.
That's what I'm more excited about.
You have it though. I can't. Don't worry. It'll be a couple years.
I know Steve KB over there hating, but hey,
I ain't hating. I'm being realistic.
I ain't got no hate on Miami.
I ain't hating. I'm being realistic, bro.
Ain't no need to hate.
That's just I ain't hating, bro. Like it takes time to rebuild, bro. Especially when you're on a new authority.
They just beat Florida. They just beat Florida for a big time 5-star recruit.
Who?
You said what now?
Malik Bryant. They just beat out Malik.
They
just beat Florida out.
No,
y'all want him.
No, you know I'm gonna give you the inside. I'm gonna give you the inside.
You said Miami got it?
Miami signed Malik Bryant. Well, they didn't sign him, but he committed because he was supposed to come to our Friday Night Light. So whatever the NIL offer was, they doubled it, so he wanted to come to NIL.
So explain to me who exactly Malik Bryant is, because y'all the college gurus. So who is Malik Bryant?
He's probably like the next Chase Young. I would give him that.
No,
you gotta keep it with your team, man.
You crazy?
Come on, bro. So you saying Malik ain't that good? Potential. I'm just giving the potential can be, but we don't know. Yeah.
Well, by you saying that, because y'all always try to bash it when I tell y'all this, is that the one thing Miami always been known for, even during their down years, is having great defensive players come out of that program. So if they don't know how, they develop linebackers and they develop some defensive ends.
Now I'm not gonna let you sit here and do that, because Ray Lewis the only linebacker that came out of Miami that you can name off top of your head.
Who?
Ray Lewis, the only one.
Are you serious? John Beeson?
Jonathan Vilma.
Jonathan Vilma. John Beeson. Who else?
Who is John Beeson?
Huh?
Yeah, you ain't got no few more. That's it. You ain't got no more. That's it. It
ain't no more. I just can't come off the top of my head. We got more.
Ain't no more. No, it's not.
We got more, bro. We got more. We got more.
We done looked this up.
Don't let me go on the line. Don't let me get on the line with Vincent Wilfork. Don't let me go. Just 2 years ago, we had Phillips that came out there defensive end. So don't let me go there now. We have some defensive players come out.
Phillips ain't got a sack yet.
Who?
Phillips. You said Phillips came out.
I'm just saying in college football, he was that guy. He was that guy in college football. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying what he did in NFL necessarily, because a lot of players get the ball out in college, they get to the NFL, and don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all ain't had no linebacker, bro. Y'all not linebacker you. Y'all ain't supposed to linebacker you.
They used to call Miami linebacker you.
For what?
Did they not ever call Miami linebacker you?
Probably back in '88.
Oh my gosh! Y'all gonna stop this? Matter of fact,
you ain't got the numbers.
Up until about probably about 6-7 years ago, we had the most first
Vilma
round players coming out of the first round.
Vilma was the last big linebacker to come out of Miami.
Last one. Billman. That was
Billman.
2000. Jonathan Billman. That was 2000. What? 7, 6.
Let me look it up. 'Cause y'all
You need to stop.
y'all act like Florida and
You ain't
Alabama, the
got
only
no.
two teams that got good players. That's the
No,
way y'all
but-
be acting.
No, not at all. But we just ain't we just not giving free credit where it ain't due.
What you mean free credit? What you mean?
You're
free
not
credit?
linebacker you because of Ray Lewis. It don't work like that.
You gotta put out-
Only one. Y'all not
You-
like Ray Lewis for the only one.
Bro, y'all haven't put out nobody.
named two
Y'all ain't put out
more.
Ray
nobody
Lewis
relevant in 10,
came out
15 years.
96.
Y'all haven't
something
put out
like
nobody relevant in 10,
Y'all ain't
15
had no
years.
linebacker since 96. So the
Y'all haven't put
championship
out-
run, we had
Jonathan
linebackers.
Vilma.
We didn't have no
He's the
championship.
only
We didn't
one.
have no linebackers on the championship team.
In 2001, it's 2022.
I'm just saying, y'all act like, okay, who do we have in 2001?
That was y'all the first or second greatest team ever to play the game. 2001, 2002. Now linebackers,
you haven't
linebackers
had
on the
nobody
team.
drafted
That's
since then.
that's. Well, I think wasn't that Vilma? Wasn't he on that team? Was he?
Vilma was the linebacker. He came out in 2006, so he was there in 2002.
Okay,
Oh,
so
we
and
won one a couple of years ago. I'm trying to think of their name.
no,
No, you didn't.
y'all might have had a guy get drafted, but he wasn't. I think y'all had Quarterman, but he wasn't like. He was just like,
Bro,
oh, okay, he's solid, but that's it. He didn't really do nothing at the Chargers when he went.
Linebacker U resides between Athens and Tuscaloosa.
You said
That's
beside who?
Athens and Georgia and
linebacker
Bama.
U is between Athens, Georgia, and Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Oh my God.
That's a fact, man. Unfortunately.
That doesn't, even
Oh, hold on,
KB don't
Steve.
want to admit
Steve,
that one. Off, but,
Steve, stop lying, bro. Name your top 7 linebackers in the last 5 years that went to the NFL, Steve.
in the last 5
Oh,
years.
God.
Okay.
Cause Georgia
So you
just got good, bro.
Roquan
Stop that
Smith.
bullshit,
How
man.
about you just asked me? You just asked me for it. Okay, hold on. I got it for you. I got you. Hold on. You got Roquan Smith. You got Leonard Floyd. That's let me give you some more. Hold on. Crowder, rookie. He was almost rookie of the year last year for the New York Giants. Ojulari, he played for the New York Giants as a rookie as well. You said that how many years I get to go back?
7.
He said last 5 years.
Okay. Quay Walker played. Tennessee Titans drafted 1-2. Hold on. I gave you 5. Hold on. Give me a second. Let's vocalize.
So, okay. See, I'll give you that. So let me ask you another question, Steve. Do the University of Georgia breed Hall of Famers?
It depends on what you're talking about. In college, yeah, we got a few. I mean, we
No.
just got a gold jacket last year.
When people play for the University of Georgia and go to the NFL, do they
But you
become Hall
can't
of Fame?
attribute that to the college. You attribute that to the NFL.
Hey, hold on, KB. Hold on, KB.
I was saying, how is that relevant to the college? How is that relevant to the college?
I didn't say it. I'm just asking you a question, bro. I'm just asking you a question. In Icon defense, Miami breed Hall of Famers.
Bro, that's because
Since when?
That's because all of them played.
2001.
That's because everybody played on that 2001 team or that 80s team. Like, come on, man.
KB, stop, man. Stop. You stop, KB. If you look at all the Hall of Famers,
one since 20 years.
If you look at
What Georgia linebacker in the Hall of Fame?
What Georgia linebacker? David Pollock is in the Hall of Fame.
Who?
David Pollock.
David Pollock. Wasn't he back in like 1992?
I don't care when he was. You talking about people from 2001.
You cannot support a college conversation with
hold on. But I've had a linebacker drafted in every draft since then.
Okay.
You have not had one draft.
Have all of them showed out in the NFL?
I've named a few that have. I've named a few that have. Leonard Floyd has just won the championship. You can't talk about Ray Lewis. Then you go going back to 2001.
And any of them in the conversation with Ray Lewis. Name one of them that's in the conversation with Ray Lewis.
You can't do that, Icon. That's not even realistic.
What? Oh,
Yes, it
well,
is.
there we go. Case
Stop
closed.
it, KB.
Case
Stop
closed.
it. It is.
They're
It is.
not. They're not.
It's
Case closed.
They're
not,
young
man.
in their career though. They're not even. They're young in their
You
career.
can't. One, we all know Ray Lewis is
And oh wait, I
arguably
got one for you.
the
Okay,
best
okay,
linebacker
wait,
to
no,
league.
hold on. No, I got one for you. Is Justin Houston not a Hall of Fame?
Justin Houston.
Yeah, he's about to break the all-time sack record soon.
How many years he been in the NFL?
Shit.
About 4 years.
He was drafted in 2011.
2011. I mean, he might be, but he ain't no Ray Lewis.
No, he's not a Ray Lewis, but you can't attribute college to NFL success. Like that goes to college coaches. You have guys that were trash in college who were great in the pros, and you had guys that were great in college and were trash in the pros. Like when it gets to the pros, that's a whole nother level of development that you're not attributing that to the
But I said
college.
that earlier, KB. I said that earlier. I said we've had players that come out of Miami that wasn't necessarily great in the NFL, but they was great in college.
But
Well, that's
you
we're
haven't
asking
had
who.
anyone coming out
But
since
that's what we're asking who was great in
2001 though.
college.
Bro, so hold on. You gonna tell me we had no
The number
first
of
rounders
players
since
drafted
2001?
from Miami since 2001, the number of players drafted since Miami is less than 20.
That's
So
crazy.
we had no players come out in the first round since
Because you got to
2001.
think after 2001, y'all got hit with all them sanctions. Nobody was drafted. You have periods in Miami history, 10 to 8 year gaps where nobody was drafted.
Okay, you gotta look this up. I mean, I gotta look this up. I don't think that's.
Me and KB don't see this already.
Right, we've had this conversation
Okay.
on the show.
Because of the sanction. Only because of the
You said
sanctions.
no
though. They
players. You
sanctioned
said
y'all
no
hard.
players was drafted in the first round since 2001. No players.
Now we talking about linebacker.
Oh, you
Are we
talking
talking
about linebackers? Okay. We got misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Okay. Thought you were saying no players. I'm like, I know that's a lot.
No.
That's fine,
Linebacker.
brother.
Okay. I'm about to say.
Just linebacker. There's been no linebackers drafted literally in 10-year gaps between Ray Lewis, Jonathan Vilma, Denzel Perryman, I think is the last one after that.
Okay. But what I'm saying,
That's the only
is
three.
the defensive players that Miami is starting to get some of the top players that everybody else has been getting that we haven't been able to get, right? What I'm saying is that Miami is one of those teams that used to breed certain positions, linebackers, defensive end, running backs. That used to be our calling card. So what I'm saying is now that we starting to get those 5-star, 4-star recruits, whatever.
But y'all only got one 5-star
What I'm saying is we might start getting those type of first rounders again. That's all I'm saying.
Y'all only got one 5-star recruit, and that's the O lineman.
I would agree with you.
Y'all got one. That's the O lineman. Malik Bryant is not about to be no damn Chase, nothing like that. First of all, he's going there to be an inside linebacker. He's 6'2", and he's like 215, 220. That man's not playing on the edge. He's playing in the middle. No, he's an edge rusher in college, but he's going to the high school, but he's going to college to play middle linebacker. And he ain't even going to play. He ain't even going to play realistically till his junior year, because he's never played middle linebacker.
And that icon too, man. This coach that y'all got, he had top classes in Oregon. Every year he can recruit.
Billy Napier had more guys drafted last year from Louisiana. He had more guys from Louisiana get drafted than he did at Oregon.
And he win.
He had more people drafted at LSU. At where?
No, at University of Louisiana Lafayette. More guys were drafted there. More guys were drafted from there last year than Oregon. He's a great recruiter, but he's not a
defense. Always been sucky. Oregon defense was trash.
He's recruited top 5 classes for like the last 4 or 5 years.
But were they defensive classes?
Yes, he had guys. He had one of the cornerbacks got drafted first round. Like they've had guys come through, but not anything that's like you might get a special guy here or there, but you're not getting. He's not good at development. He's not good at on-field coaching.
Well, I mean, if he got defensive player, the way they said he brought a staff in, a better staff to go around him in Miami. You You know what I'm saying? So I know they were talking about that the other day, that the staff he brought with him to Miami as well as an upgrade from the staff that he had at Oregon.
That's
Yes,
true. He is, yeah. I agree
by
with
the names that he has, correct. Now, if you're hoping for the success that they had back in 2005 and 2010 to carry over to now, then that's what they're banking on. They're getting Charlie Strong, being like, okay, he ain't been nothing the last 10 years. So hopefully him as a linebackers coach, he'll be good at focusing just on linebackers. That's what they're banking on.
But
Because
everybody not a head coach. Everybody not meant to
no,
be
it's
no
not
head
even
coach.
that. Even as the DC, he was trash once he left Florida, he was exposed and he was trash. Charlie Strong couldn't do nothing as a DC, and he couldn't do nothing as a head coach. That's why he was available. Charlie Strong was not his first choice. A lot of people on that staff was not the first choice of Mario because nobody would be on his staff. Remember, he was trying to hire all these different people. He was trying to hire all these different coordinators, position players, and they would not come over.
Whatever we had the last couple of years was way up. Anybody upgrade what we had the last couple of years, because the defense coordinator the last couple of years been straight garbage. Because Miami had enough talent. Miami had enough talent where the defensive scheme they was calling in them games was terrible. They had enough talent where they shouldn't have been giving up 30, 40 points against some of these teams they were giving up. You know what I'm saying?
I think Bama just broke that spirit that first game last year. That was it.
No, Manny Diaz.
It wasn't just the Bama game. It was before that. Like they've been that defense been like, that's why the Miami alumni been coming out like they don't have no heart. I'm saying they not tough at all. Like the defense, all they want to care about is the damn turnover chain.
Y'all love Manny Diaz when he was under the previous coach, the dude from Georgia, Rick.
Mark Rick.
Y'all love Manny as the DC.
Well, I was told, I ain't gonna lie, I was working for FedEx a couple years ago. And I remember we first got Mark Rick, and all the Georgia people that worked there said, bruh, he overrated, he garbage. And I'm sitting there like, what? I'm like, what you mean? And when we got him in Miami, I seen how bad Mark really was. He was terrible. Matter of fact, he was probably the worst coach we've had over the last 10 years.
Bro, he was
just there to get y'all over.
But he was getting y'all to 8 and 9. He was getting y'all to 8, 9 wins. Like, what are you talking about? Like, he was probably one of the more consistent coaches y'all have had since 2001 and 2002.
Bruh, first of all, if you bought Rick, that's like saying, you know what I'm saying, like, and I ain't trying to throw no shade, but that's just like saying, well, Mike McCarthy got you so many amount of wins. You know what I'm saying? Like that don't make any sense to even say that. Like,
but there's levels of coaching, and a guy that's getting y'all to at almost the top of the ACC consistently and not getting over the hump because y'all had those recruiting violations and y'all were recruiting terribly, and he still got you there. Like, Mark Rick is a solid coach. He just wasn't the guy to get it.
He's not a Miami guy.
It wasn't even about the wins and the losses. I watch what's going on the field. And this my thing. It's the same thing I look at when I'm watching Carolina play and I watch Miami play. I watch when you play against certain competition, how you compete against certain teams. Just like, okay, I give you for instance, when Manny Diaz first got there, I think not this past season, but the year before that, I think we played against Florida. And if you remember that Florida game, that was actually a very competitive game up until the last 5 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever, y'all pulled away. But that was a very competitive game. And that right there gave me hope, like, okay, well, maybe we finally turning the corner because we're playing an SEC team very tough. You know what I'm saying? So My thing is, that's what I look at. I don't necessarily look at winning loss. Just like if we play Texas A&M, and then I heard another commentator say, analyst say, we gonna know where Miami is versus if they compete with Texas A&M or if they actually beat them. So if we get blown out by 40, then we know, okay, we still got ways to go. But let's just say the game end up like 35-31 or something like that, and we compete and we fight. Then I'll go like, okay, we might be cooking with something. We might be doing something because we actually competitive with a top SEC team. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I'm gonna look at the game. that particular game. Now, do
Oh,
I
y'all like
want?
you look
Yes.
for more. You look for a moral victory. Like, oh, we ain't that bad.
Yeah, but now, because like I told y'all, I feel like in the next 3 years we're gonna be in that national hunt. But right now, yes, we need small little like nuggets like that just to kind of build us back up. But we still need to go like 9-3 in this next season or 10-2 for us to really feel like we viable. You know what I'm saying? We don't necessarily gotta go in because I want us to at least win the division and at least go play Clemson in the ACC championship game. That's my goal.
I think as Miami fans, y'all are really banking on the fact that he has these names on his staff, and that's what's going to do it. And unfortunately, being familiar with Charlie Strong, like y'all O line will be solid. You're bringing the O line coach from Oregon. He followed him over. That's solid. A day he's a solid DV coach. Um, Outside of that, it's it's y'all recruit very well, but I don't see y'all being very successful on the field because I don't think those coaches that he brought in, I think they're just a little past their time. Like I just don't see it with them. And I think y'all are basing everything off of the names that y'all have in those coaching rooms, and that ain't gonna get it done. That'll get y'all better.
But you did say one thing. You said our top recruit was an offensive lineman, right?
Correct.
But people don't realize, they underestimate, and I know y'all probably understand this. When Miami was at their height in 01, 02 years, even back in the 90s and stuff in the 80s when they were running things, their offensive line was like that, you know what I'm saying, like that Dallas Cowboys offensive type line. Like
Yeah,
our front four back in the day on the defensive and offensive line, basically we was like Alabama before Alabama. We ran shit.
everybody like that. I mean, you look at any champion, 9 times out of 10, they had some great O linemen. I know when Florida was winning, all of our O linemen, those are the Pouncey twins, the Tarquin, the O line coach at Penn State. Like we had all Americans across the board. Like you're gonna have that. Like the game is won in the trenches. So I think with Oregon, like because that's where he just came from. Oregon they had Sewell, which it's a great tackle, but outside of him, they weren't great. Like they weren't a great O line. Like they looked good. They were big. You know what I'm saying? Like physically, they looked great. But when it came down to it, they weren't imposing guys on the run game. They were more passing the ball because they had Justin Herbert. So they're not. They were never built to be powerful. And in the ACC, it's going to be harder for them. It's going to be harder in the ACC than it is in the Pac-12. Like the level of competition he's saying is a lot different. It's going to be a lot harder to get through the ACC than it was through the Pac-12.
But I think we're gonna get back to a lot of these players because y'all both said like Miami is one of those schools that got money, that got that extra booster money, whatever. So I think we're gonna get back to the point where because of the money and because of the location, we're gonna start getting players. And because if nothing else, Cristobal has has that cachet name. He may not be the best coach in the world, but he has a cachet name that's going to get certain players to go to Miami. So I think if nothing else, you're going to start seeing players start to go that way, especially as much as the media talks about a Miami now. You know what I'm saying? You don't think that's going to sway a young kid to be like, now I know I'm about to be on TV because Miami was still on TV every Saturday. If you believe it or not, when I
Ain't
go
nobody
watch
watching
a Miami
ACC
game, it's
Network.
not hard for me to find a Miami game on TV.
Yeah,
It's not.
because the ACC Network or Fox, whoever is y'all programming, but y'all ain't playing with the big boys in SEC. They already talked about that. The broadcasting money, we getting 100 million plus. Y'all getting like 20 million. Like it ain't even remotely close. But I will say about Miami, Cristobal name, he does have an effect, especially with being a Miami guy. But the booster thing, I'm letting you know now. To next year, y'all are going to be how A&M is this year. Like, remember last year, A&M had a top class. They were bringing in all these guys, all this NIL money. Miami is spending their money up front. They're giving them guys like, hey, you come, we give you, you're going to get this amount of money. and then over the years, depending, on your play, blah blah blah, you'll get this, this, and this. So they're giving guys money day one. A lot of the other schools, like Florida, like I don't even know if Texas is doing it. I know Georgia's doing it. A lot of the other schools that are doing with their stuff, they're spreading it out. They're like, hey, over your career, you're gonna get
Years.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
this year, every year you're gonna get, this amount of money. Da da da. This is what you're projected. The bad part about giving money up front is that, okay, you give money up front, then you have to do that again next year for the new guys,
Transfer.
and you have to pay the guys that's already in your locker room, because unfortunately, when you have a quarterback come in that's making 7, 5, $6 million, and you already have 2 5 stars ahead of him, they're going to want money too, and you're going to have to pay to keep them, and you're going to have to pay to keep those guys that you've already recruited in house. So what's happening with just like A&M, they can't afford to pay the guys that they did last year and keep the guys happy that's already on their team and bring in guys for the next cycle. That's why now they're looking trash on the recruiting cycle. So that's what's going to happen with Miami, because of course they got boosters for days, but that money, upfront money, that's not a long game. That's a quick fix, and that's what's going to happen, because once the NCAA get in there and put in their regulations that they are already starting to do, they're going to stop that. They're going to stop that shit, and Miami's
Well,
going to be
the
going out
first
the job.
regulation they need to, the first regulation that I know they talking about, well, not regulation, but all these players getting money and they not doing nothing to get the money. In other words, it's like you ain't seen no commercial, you ain't seen no TV advertisement, you ain't seen no billboard, you ain't seen these players do nothing. They
I
just getting
seen,
money.
I seen it on Instagram because I follow a few.
Yeah,
But
you
they
got to
was doing
follow their
like Raising
pages.
Cane commercials,
Yeah,
crystal commercials. It's a lot of good without the crystal commercials, all kinds of stuff. But I've seen that they are there's an issue with the kids getting what they've been promised. Like that dude who promised to go to USC and they're gonna give him a mansion, and he said he ain't got none of the stuff they promised.
right. Because
And it's like
technically,
there's no rules, there's no contract, there's no binding. So
You said the
they
kids are not
promise.
getting what they promised.
correct.
Yep.
Because they're selling the thing to these kids, like, oh, we want to give you this, this, this. They can't legally sign anything until they become students enrolled at the school. So what's happening is once they're signed and enrolled, then they're not getting everything that they're being promised. And that's what the issue is, for the guys like the USC, like Addison. And that's what's happened with a lot of guys. One guy at LSU, um, a couple kids at UGA, even there was a couple Florida kids that weren't happy, so they had to kind of break the check on them to kind of shut them up. And like, these kids aren't getting everything they're promised, and you're selling them this dream, and when you don't come through, they're either gonna make a fuss, they're gonna be like, they ain't pay me the way they're supposed to pay me, like that Miami basketball player did, was like, man, you ain't giving me my money, I'm transferring, or you're gonna have to pay me more money, and they coughed up more money. Like, this NIL thing is gonna be tough for a lot of these schools that didn't plan on continuing how they're doing, because these kids now, especially if they change the transfer rule, they talking about having unlimited
Yeah, you can transfer
transfers.
wherever you want.
Man, these kids
Transfer
about to
wherever
be,
you want, whenever you want.
every year it's gonna be a new school.
Oh my
Oh,
God!
Bama and Georgia,
Especially with
the
quarterbacks.
big
Especially with
dogs are going.
quarterbacks. It's gonna be
Big
ridiculous
dogs
with
gonna load
quarterbacks.
up.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Because
those
I
big
never
dogs
understood
gonna
why a
reload.
school would get 3 freshman 5-star quarterbacks, and then you know what I'm
Because you
saying,
don't know if
knowing like
all of
once
them
that,
gonna work
yeah,
out.
once one of
You
them
don't
went
know.
out and the other two leave, or one of them end up like, I ain't never understood that. Like, why did you recruit 5-star quarterbacks?
Because you don't know what's gonna happen with injuries.
Injuries,
No,
the
man, you
portal,
got to keep them. The board,
you
yeah, you
gotta
got
have
to.
them.
You have to. You got to do that. You have to stack them up.
Because
And
Miami did that one year.
I
Matter of
don't
fact,
want
Miami
Florida to
did
get
that
them.
one year. About
Yep.
four about four
But you
years
got
ago,
to.
Miami had two like 5-star quarterback when they had, or 4 or 5. They had Jacoby, I think it was Jacoby Harris, whatever his name was, and they had I forgot the other cat name. Wasn't I think Van Dyke, was Van Dyke in that same class?
Yes, they had
But no,
Jacory. Van Dyke was a year before them. It was Van Dyke, Jacory, and Garcia.
Yeah, they had all these, and they ended up like in the end. I mean, they ended up staying. I think only person that was Ja'Cory Harris left later, but I think
he's still on
one of them. I think one of the other ones left though.
No, Ja'Cory's still there.
Ja'Cory's still there. The hell? He must have had some eligibility.
The black kid, right?
Yeah, he's still there.
Y'all had a black quarterback in the spring game behind Max Garcia.
It can't be him. There ain't nowhere in the world.
But
Wyman came on the road when he was on the team. That was about 18.
The only reason y'all went after Rashada that y'all paid him was to prevent us from getting him because of, which is crazy, a Twitter beef between a Gator guy who was like he be on like podcasts and stuff. Him and Ruiz was going back and forth. Excuse me, and talking about his life wallet and all that stuff. And pretty much Ruiz flexed on him, was like, well, I'll put up $1 million and you put up $1 million type thing, like to call him out. So the dude like kind of fell back, and because Miami wasn't into it, Rashada had went there twice already, and it wasn't even a thing. Like that's why y'all took that other kid, the white dude, the 3-star, because Rashada wasn't going there. It was Oregon, and it was initially Oregon, and then Oregon wanted to go after Dante. And so it was Ole Miss, and then Florida jumped in there. So he was a Florida kid. And once he came to Florida, he was about to commit. And then that's when the whole NIL thing, he went back to Miami because they offered him a bigger bag and a more upfront money. And then,
our quarterback this year, I like him, but the only thing I'm kind of worried because he's like he got a cannon, but he a statue. You know what I'm saying? He don't really move out the pocket that much. He's more like a statue, but he got a cannon on him. So, but I'm afraid that if that line don't hold up, he take a hit. We might be going to second string quick. You know what I'm saying? I know they were talking about he might be in a Heisman running. He might be a Heisman candidate off of what they seen last year. But the only thing that concerns me with him is that he don't really. If the play break down, then he got to throw the ball away like a Peyton Manning or whatever because he don't really run. He just kind of stand in the pocket until the play develop.
Yep.
So that's why you have to sign all them 5-stars though.
But he got a cannon though. I ain't gonna lie, that joker got him. He got an arm on his ass.
But that's why they got him. They got him so Florida would not get him. Which at the end of the day, now in hindsight, I'm glad because we got the quarterback that we wanted initially before we offered Rashada for a lot cheaper price. And we're not scaring off no guys from next year. You know what I'm saying? Because Miami, y'all got, 3 5-stars sitting there, and they're all young. But y'all ain't getting no kid next year. And if y'all do, it'll be a bum.
Well, hey,
they don't need one.
Our main thing is the one thing we always keep, and y'all can't dispute this. We always keep a stable running backs.
Y'all talking about a freshman being in your rotation. That's not a stable. When you look to a rookie or a freshman to be in your running back rotation his first year. That's not a stable.
You barking up the wrong tree. You barking up the wrong tree. Icon, you barking.
Hold on. Didn't we just have 2 starting running backs play for Seattle last year?
Who?
We had Dallas and we had what's the other cat name? Both of them came from Miami. Both of them played in Miami at the same time and was on the Seattle Seahawks last year. Starting running backs.
Are they there now?
Yes, they were still there. I think both of them still there.
You talking about Chris Carson and Bo Dallas?
No, not Chris Carson. It was DJ Dallas, I think his name, and
DJ Dallas.
What's the other cat name?
Chris Carson's their starting running back.
Chris Carson retired. He retired yesterday. But because he got hurt. He was hurt last year. He retired.
That's it. Y'all ain't had nobody since.
But you talking about what they did in the
we had 2.
I'm saying, what did they do in college?
What you mean? If they was on the NFL, what you talking about?
I mean, if that's the case, Florida had 2-3 guys go. Like that. If you talk about a stable of running backs, like when you talk about a stable of running backs, like being known, you look at UGA. UGA has three,
Yeah.
Okay,
two
so
or
we
three
had
5-stars.
CP,
Bama,
we had
Bama
Frank
has.
Gore, we had Willis McGahee,
We're not
we
talking
had
about, and we're not talking about over
There
time.
you go. You going back. You going way back. I'm talking
But
about
I'm just
the
saying, we had DJ
last
Dallas,
5 years.
we had DJ Dallas, and the other running back that was just in the that just was or the Seattle Seahawks last year. We had a running back about 3 years ago that damn near broke the rushing record in one season or whatever about 4 years ago. What are y'all talking about?
Bro,
Running backs.
what rushing record? What rushing record?
He
Not
broke
the
the
rush.
Miami Hurricane rushing record.
Oh well, who cares about that?
You know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
talking about
That
NFL.
ain't a big
I think
deal.
it's talking about
You
college.
can't tell me that ain't a big deal. If you break the
I
Miami
thought you were
rushing
saying
record,
they broke the all-time record.
no, I'm
Right.
talking about he broke the Miami rushing record. But if you break the Miami rushing record, you know you up there with royalties. Stop playing.
Yes, Miami royalty, that's cool, but we talking about college wide. Like when you talk
But
about
what I'm
horses,
saying is,
Miami is not in the conversation at
Miami
all.
has had royalty running backs. They've had.
Yes,
No.
you're talking about over the last 40 years. Correct. We're talking about the last 10, 15. Y'all haven't had
Over
a
the
bunch of.
last 10
Y'all
years,
haven't had like
So we
Miami.
haven't had
Miami
no
is
running
not
backs
known.
come out of Miami to go to the NFL that was
No, we're not.
starting in the NFL in the
We're
last
not.
10 years.
We're not talking about a starting. When you say a stable of running backs, you're thinking like, okay, what team has a stable of running backs that come out on a regular basis? Georgia, Bama, Wisconsin. Those are teams that always have a guy that come out every year and who is at the top of the nation when it comes to rushing, who's a prime time Heisman.
Here you go.
They are the guys that
Hold on,
when
I
you talk
got
about
something
football
for you.
players.
So I got something for you. So
Yeah.
since Clinton Portis, you've had one running back to make a Pro Bowl.
No, okay, no. I ain't talking about
Lamar
that's
Miller.
not. That's
Lamar Miller is the
what I'm talking
only
about.
running back.
Okay, not because KB just said earlier that what you do in college doesn't necessarily translate in the NFL. What
Correct.
I'm saying is we've had running backs come out of our stable who've made it to the NFL. If you make it to the NFL, you're doing something. Period.
Okay, I'm with you.
I'm
with
saying
you. You've only had.
the NFL. I'm saying.
Listen,
Okay, go down the
I
line.
heard what you said. No, I'm with you. No, I'm with you. But listen, as far as drafted, you've only had one, and that was DJ Dallas. The other boy was a
Free agent.
undrafted free agent.
But he played.
You've only
he
had
played for
one
Miami.
running back
He
draft.
played for Seattle. They was in the backfield last year at the same time. Look at
Okay, I'm with you. So I'm with you. So I got Nick Chubb. I had Todd Gurley who was playing at the same time. I got Sony Michel who was over there playing at the same time as well. And Stromile Swift.
Okay, but
who's in
but what
Detroit
I'm
playing.
saying is y'all never want to give Miami no damn credit. Like we just suck. We ain't put
No,
out nothing over the last.
we're not
I'm
saying
just
we
saying
suck,
over the
but you
last
want.
I'm
10
not
years,
talking about
y'all
being
had-
drafted or undrafted.
No,
what I'm talking about is players that came out of we've had players, running backs come out of Miami.
y'all
I don't care
have,
how they made it to the
but
NFL. They made it.
but when you say stable and when you say known for, like y'all
running back.
y'all were at a time, but y'all ain't that no more. Y'all aren't even close to
Okay,
that
so
no
we
more.
had a few bad years, but we're gonna get back to it.
Y'all had
Ain't a
20.
few.
I ain't worried about it.
Y'all had 20. Y'all haven't won 10 games, and y'all won it one time in 20 years.
I ain't talking about the wins. I'm talking about with
That's
the players.
what's important.
You ain't put out nobody worth mentioning in the running back field since Frank Gore and Lamar Miller. There's nobody else that came. I know you named them 2 players from last year. You did. You got 2 from last year. That's it.
Matter of fact, I want to say DJ Dallas had a 200-300 yard game last year.
Nick Chubb led the league in runs. You need to stop. You got to stop.
I'm just telling you.
Running backs. I'm just saying, running backs is not a position y'all can start chirping. Linebackers not either. There are positions I will let Miami beat their chest, but those 2 positions are not it. Maybe tight end y'all can go up.
I can't. I'm on the phone, so I can't look at all my running backs. But I guarantee you, almost every year that we've had a running back come out, they made it to the NFL. Almost every year. They might have not have made it through the traditional draft, first, second round, whatever.
I mean, if that's the case,
I guarantee we've
if that's the case, If that's the
One
case,
of our
Florida's
running
better than
backs make it
y'all.
to the
'Cause
NFL.
we've had
One
running
of our
backs
running
make
backs
it
made it to
since
the NFL.
we've had running backs make it since 2007, 2006
I mean,
on a
we
regular
know that.
basis.
I know that about Florida and Georgia. What I'm saying is we've
But we're
had
not considered a stable running back place. Like when you think stable, you think okay, Bama, Mark Henry, Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara, Yeldon. Like those are the guys. Najee Harris. Those are the guys you think when you say a stable, like guys that.
you okay. That's like saying trying to comparing
But I
everybody
gave
else
you
to Tom
Georgia. I
Brady
gave you
or
Georgia.
Michael
I
Jordan
gave
and
you
LeBron.
no.
We're
I
not.
gave you
Alabama's
Georgia.
in a
I
whole
gave
other
you
class.
I get
We're not talking
Wisconsin.
about that.
With Jonathan Taylor, Monty Ball. Who else
Monty
came from?
Ball.
I mean, no,
He named Wisconsin running back. There's
Who
another
is
one named
Wisconsin. Wisconsin always has a
he's
premier running back come out every 3 years. They usually start as a freshman or a sophomore,
Melvin
and they
Gordon.
play. And Melvin Gordon, that's what
Who
they
is
do,
Monty Ball?
huh?
He's the running back out of Wisconsin. He was named
What
the
are you
running
doing
backs from Wisconsin.
in that?
Yeah, he played
Yes,
in
he
the
played in the
NFL.
NFL.
Oh,
Played for Denver.
He played for Denver, yeah. And Melvin Gordon
for
came
1
after
year, he
him.
played like half
And
a
then
season. Yeah, half a good season.
but he in
Yeah,
college
much about
he was great. Yes, son.
Anyway, all right, y'all
That's
exhausted
all
me
we
for the
saying.
night.
Icon.
All right,
We
y'all.
just saying
Yeah.
it's certain positions that Miami can't start going off about. And running back.
I'm
Right.
gonna have these list of players for y'all on Sunday.
But make sure they're relevant in college before you do that. Like
I'm
not in
gonna
the
make sure
Miami
I'm gonna
circle,
make sure
but
they
on the
relevant in
national
college
circle.
before I bring them up. But I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking
You
about.
don't have.
Y'all
Okay.
don't got them.
You ain't gonna have many. I'm from after you
Okay,
look up
all
that
right.
list. After you get
All
past 2000. After you get past 2006, after the last of that 2001, 2002 team,
You may
it
have a
get
player
real
here. You'll have a
scarce.
player
Okay, all
here or
right.
there, but nobody that you can say that, oh, Miami's known for. Y'all just
Okay,
ain't been like
all
y'all
right.
just not like that no more.
So I bet not find 1,000-yard rusher on my team.
You ain't.
Come this Sunday. Okay.
Lamar Miller is the only one you gonna find.
All right. Well, I'll talk to y'all
1,000-yard
Sunday.
rusher doesn't make you a stable though. Still, y'all aren't
Don't
known.
try to move the goalposts. Don't try to move the goalposts.
I'm not. I never said anything. I
You
didn't
move the goalposts.
say anything about yards. I never said anything about yards. I'm talking about.
That's what running back down 4 yards.
I'm
That's
talking
what
about.
they based off of?
Yes, it's based off that as well. But Miami has
Duke
not had a premier
Duke
running back,
Johnson.
a
Okay.
national.
All right. Remember y'all said
Duke
I'm gonna talk to y'all
Duke
Sunday.
Johnson never had 1,000-yard
Miami
season. So no.
hasn't had a nationally
Y'all
like
keep changing the
respected player
goalposts.
in a long time.
I'm done. Y'all keep changing the goalposts. I'm done.
You said 1,000-yard season. Show me the list. That's all I want.
Miami fans, boy.
I want to see this list of 1,000-yard rushers since 2005. I don't think he gonna find nobody. Icon, you on mute. I don't know if you know it, but